Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the live episode of the Heel Hook Show. My dog just decided to attack me and play ball, so yeah, that happened. Anyway, guys, welcome to the Heel Hook Show. You are joined today by the greatest known duo in the multiverse of MMA, myself, Ashel Lamprey, and my boy, my brother from another mother, from the other side of the Atlantic, the MMA advocate, the one and only Eddie Law. How you doing, brother?
What's good, Ash? I'm chilling, man. Kind of chilling. It's hot as balls outside, but what are you gonna do? No, I'm just we were just talking before the show started. Like, it's long days for both of us, man. It's worse for you. I mean, you had to stay at what, 2 nights in a row?
Yeah. Like I got on the Bellator card. I went to sleep. I fell asleep during the Phil Davis fight.
Who didn't go to sleep in that fight? I napped.
I legit fell asleep though, bro. Like I legit fell asleep, and then I woke up afterwards, and then I saw all like the main fights before and afterwards. But I fell asleep for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and then I got like about 4 or 5 hours before I had to get up again after the pay-per-view had finished to go to work and stuff. So it's been a long couple of days, as you probably can tell, but it's a beautiful thing. Some crazy happenings in the world of MMA. Depending on who you talk to, it was one of the most awesome weekends of MMA. Me personally, not so much.
You know what, man? I wasn't impressed by either card. You know, what's funny part is I forgot who was saying Bellator was kind of like, Matt Mitrione was saying Bellator was going to be in the lead this weekend for the first time in a long time. It's like, what do you mean in the lead? Lead of what? You're not leading shit. You know what I mean? Like, after that pay-per-view, you're going to get, two different sides, right? People that are like, oh, that was a great show for Bellator, and then people like me that are going to say, that was a dumpster fire.
It was the biggest ball of trash. Like, literally, I was talking to my friend the next day because, he's a passive fan and stuff. And he was like, oh, I heard that, like, Bellator was in Madison Square Garden. And I was like, yeah. Like, it was kind of there, yeah.
We think it was. We're not really sure yet. I mean, there's still a lot of passed out people from the Davis Bader fight. What a fucking awful fight! What an awful fight! And these people are like, "Oh, you don't appreciate technique." I'm like, no. I appreciate technique. I don't appreciate having to watch a title fight that looks like a fucking glorified sparring session. That's what I don't appreciate.
How people can turn around and say to us that we don't appreciate like the grappling aspects when me and you can watch 4 hours of EBI.
And be super happy about it.
Yeah,
every time EBI happens, you and I are like, dude, are you fucking ready for this? Shit's gonna be awesome. And then we're watching it, we're on Twitter losing our fucking minds back and forth. Other people are like, what you guys just want to watch dudes hug each other? I'm like, you have no idea what you're watching, huh? Like, an educated crowd when there's two in the UFC or in Bellator, MMA as a whole, when the fight goes to the ground and someone sweeps somebody. Or somebody gets passes guard. They're like, oh, starts clapping and shit. Educated people. All the people that go, boo, just bleed, boo. Those motherfuckers. Those are the assholes that people need to go after. Those are the people that don't fucking appreciate technique. That fight had no technique to it. That was just like, I'm gonna get you. This little pause back and forth. Mind you, Phil Davis fight safe. Ryan Bader wanted to fight safe. And it turned into just an awful fight. Both of them were talking before the fight like, oh, it's going to be better than the last one. We didn't like our last fight. It was exactly the same.
I didn't understand either as well. Like, how come in Bellator they don't do, like, the 5 rounds for main events or for titles?
Because I believe Scott Coker has said, and I saw this on Twitter today. He was on Dushwani's show. Yeah. Today, I believe. And people were tweeting about it, and they're like, Coker says that they haven't decided to go 5 rounds yet because, for whatever reason, he said, because once we make a decision, it's going to be forever. You know what I mean? I think that the example that was brought up was the Son and Vanderlei fight. Said, wouldn't you want to see 2 more rounds of that? And I'm sitting here going, would you want to see 2 more rounds of that? I mean, come on, dog.
But with that same thing said, though, you don't know what could happen, though. We could have actually seen somebody get knocked out or submitted rather than just seeing a boring decision. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I agree with you right there. But I mean, Sonny got knocked out twice, kind of. I mean, he got rocked real nice twice.
Time that he got dropped full deck and he just
landed right on his ass, dude.
Oh no! Like as if like Vanderlei's gonna like spark him. Like, come on.
Yeah, I was doing live tweets for Cage Side Press, and You could see, and it was funny. Someone was telling me, like, they were telling me, they say you tweet exactly how you talk. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, the second that happened, your tweets with the all capitals and you like exclamation points all over. I was freaking the fuck out. I was like, get the fuck out! Someone's gonna get him. That's out of like comedy than out of excitement for the fight. I was about to burst out laughing. Remember, Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva dominates the fight, losing the last 10 seconds of the fucking of that fight, gets submitted. I'm like, get the fuck out! Chael Sonnen's been whooping his ass. And now he's gonna get knocked out at the very end. What the fuck?
Well, the worst thing about that fight was for me is that I saw somebody say the same thing as well that I was thinking, and it was the Wanderlei Silva's been fighting for like 20 years and he still can't defend one takedown.
Dude, his takedown defense is awful. Not to mention after the fight, and he's all pissed, right? He's all like pissed. Oh, come on, we gotta fight. Like, dude, you're in an MMA fight,
bang, bro. Let me bang.
Yeah,
bro.
And so this is the wrong guy to bang with there, Silva, because he knows you don't have takedown defense. And then after the fight, like he posted, I think on Facebook, in Portuguese, obviously, but it gets translated. Basically said, "Oh, I need to go back and I should have trained takedowns more. Like you didn't train takedowns enough, mother. Are you serious?" And I forgot who made the point. That I think it might have been Josh Thompson on the broadcast said something like you can't teach an old man to wrestle, but somebody that's been wrestling entire life never forgets it. Basically comparing Silva to Sonnen, right? Silva's never going to learn how to stop takedowns. It's just not going to happen. You can't give him a Chael Sonnen or even a Tito Ortiz to fight because that guy's going to be on his ass immediately. Give him a Rampage Jackson, that kind of shit.
Well, it was like the conversation we had a few weeks ago when we were saying like which is the better use of like technique, because at the end of the day you can over time teach people how to learn techniques of how to defend, how to maneuver and whatnot when it comes to grappling, but you can't teach somebody to hit. You just can't. So if you know how to take somebody down and they don't know how to get back up, they're always going to win the fight. They're always going to win the fight. And that's just how that entire fight played out. And, it just doesn't surprise me. Like the problem that I have is that we saw this weekend, we saw everything that was brilliant about MMA and everything that we hate about MMA. Like it just showed you how young this sport is when you look at Bellator and everything that they had planned, apart from the Hardy fight, she was legit.
That was fun. Honestly, I had a lot of fun with that because neither girl wanted to go to the ground for the most part, right?
Exactly.
And the other chick, I fucking forget Yager. I forgot how to say her last name, but the chick that Hardy fought, she was legit. Like she blocked too many punches with her face, but that was still a legit fight. Hardy's got some skills, man. As long as she's working her takedown defense, she's gonna have a good career, I think.
I think it'll be very interesting though, because the thing is somebody like we were saying, like somebody with a high level of grappling, I think would give her immense problems. I think she's like the kind of Michael Venom Page of like women, if you know what I mean. She has very good striking, she has good movement, but a part of me just wonders, if she got like a half decent wrestler, would she be able to get back up?
That's a good question. Like she's at 115. That was 115 or 125.
I think it was 125, wasn't it? Wasn't that the 125?
Okay, yeah, it's probably true. It's probably right. But regardless, wherever you want to throw in there, you throw like, for example, if we go to the other side of the deck there, Carla Esparza. Well, all she did was takedowns and hug arounds and shit, right? She fights Carla Esparza. Carla's probably gonna put her on her ass, right? I mean, unless you think Hardy's like a JJ level or Joanna level striker.
What's scary is actually we thought that Hardy was strawweight or even a flyweight. She's a former WBC super bantam and featherweight.
No shit. She had to cut mad weight.
Yeah, that's interesting. But goddamn, she had hands. But that was probably one of the only few fights on that entire card that I was just like, that was a legit good fight. Like I got entertainment from that, but fuck my life. When I was watching predominantly every other fight, it just went the complete opposite way that what Bellator would have wanted. Every damn fight, whether you're even talking about that, like Pico, man, like.
Oh god damn it! I wasn't heartbroken. I was disappointed as fuck because
I felt sorry for him.
I felt bad for him too. But it was like Aaron Pico, and I thought from the get go, I was like, first of all, you can't give him an 8-2 guy. You know what I mean? No matter how much he wants to fight someone that's experienced, you can't let him do that because that's just setting him up for failure, right? In my opinion. And then of course they hyped him up like a motherfucker. All this pressure on a 20-year-old kid. Could you handle any pressure at 20?
Hey,
No, nobody can.
Hey, I know James Gallagher can.
James Gallagher's a bad motherfucker, though. I mean,
yeah,
now
but this is what we thought about him, though. This is what we thought about Pico.
Exactly. And I think at most the inexperience got him caught. Right, that uppercut was beautiful. That Freeman got him with.
Yeah, and, true, but he put himself in position with the way that when he came in with his head, you could see that he angled off that way. So.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. The inexperience got him.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess, but like to say that he had like an amateur boxer like background and he had a wrestling background, you thought if anything he would have been a little bit sensitive, got the nerves out of the way, and then maybe even just wrestled him for the first round. You know, use his jab, feints, then take him down, wear him out for that first round, and just get the first round under your belt. Do you know what I mean? Just like make sure that you know that you're comfortable. You can kind of get a feel for the guy's strength, his movement, and all that kind of stuff. And instead, it came bulldozing in, didn't it? And then that's what happens to every fucking newcomer or anybody who just doesn't look to where they position their head when they come in, and then they end up getting caught in that fucking guillotine, and he just got his neck cranked off.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then I think he came in overconfident. Not overconfident. I think he came in with a lot of confidence, but he also came in with a lot of pressure on him. I think he felt the pressure to put on a big show and live up to the hype, right? Live up to all the people were talking about, and I think that put him in trouble.
It just shows, though, doesn't it? When you look at certain fights, like we were saying about Gallagher, you look at the two spectrums. You've got a guy both 20-year-old, one's 6-0, fair enough, 7-0 now. The other one was making the debut, fair enough. Both 20 years old, both got the pressure of the world. And if you could argue that Gallagher had more pressure, you know what I mean? Because he has the hype train behind him and, the comparisons and all this other kind of bullshit. But the fact is, though, is both of these guys, in a sense, on equal footing. If you think about it, Pico's probably got the more experience in kind of combat situations as far as like he has a wrestling pedigree, a boxing pedigree, whereas like Gallagher's from Ireland. Like I have to say this all the time, we don't have like a wrestling, program. We don't have a jiu-jitsu program. Like we have what you go and train for. If you want to learn wrestling, you go out and you go to a class and you learn it and you pay for it. You don't get it, you don't go to high school and you don't get it taught to you. So like I say, it's just very interesting to kind of see these two parallel and how one can have quite a lot of experience and one can have professional experience, and then one can thrive in the limelight, and the other one, you can kind of see that the moment got to him.
Yeah, it was. And he saw it in his face too a little bit that he was kind of like, like shit, like this is real now. Now I gotta put it together. Gets caught, gets finished, and afterwards he gets up and he was kind of like, oh, what the fuck just happened? And at the same time, he was kind of like he kind of understood what happened, right? And he was kind of in a weird, he had a weird blank face to him, to be honest with you. I just, like you said, I felt really bad for the kid too. I was just like, God damn, dude.
It reminded me a lot. It reminded me a lot of the UFC 205 when Eddie Alvarez came down.
Yeah. That's the face he had.
They've been and done so many things for so many times and fought against so many opponents and competed in so many competitions. But when the bright lights are on you and you're on the stage that is being captivated by the world, it just shows. It just truly shows. And, I'm sure he'll come back bigger, badder and better. But the thing is, though, is at the end of the day, this loss could teach him a lot. And it could teach him that he needs to learn on certain things. He needs to work on his temperament, and it shows you how tentative you can be, or it could break him, and we might never see this kid again, and he might just be a flash in the pan.
Yeah, no, hopefully not. And I think he'll be back. But just like we hear time and time again, the losses are more important than the wins, right? 100%. It's just unfortunately he's 0-1 now instead of 1-0. He's gonna have to learn from the get go. But let's see who they give him on the next fight up.
But with that said, though, and I know I've seen two sides of the social media, as we always tend to do after the weekend of any pay-per-view or any show. But it's been kind of interesting to see people's responses to Gallagher, because I've seen people who are anti-Conor fans that love Gallagher, and I've seen people who are anti-Gallagher but like Conor, and then it's just a weird thing. I'm seeing so many different people have a different perspective on him. And
okay, wait, explain that, because they're first of all teammates. Second of all, they nearly sound the same. Fucking hey, dude. Like if you had them both on the phone, you'd have to really be a big time Conor fan to be able to tell the difference. My opinion. Maybe because I'm awful with accents.
You prejudiced fuck. I can't believe.
I'm just saying
that all Irish people sound the same coming from you. Like how are you gonna play me? Like
I'll tell you how. Okay. No, if I'm in Arizona, I'm in the West Coast, right? I'm Mexican. That's what I am. I'm Mexican, right? If I go to New York, if I'm not going to New York, I'm Puerto Rican. If I go to fucking Florida, I'm Cuban. But don't talk to me about prejudice, motherfucker. I know exactly what it is.
The point being is that what amused me about it was that some people that they don't realize that these guys are training partners, and they're at the same gym, they're from the same country, they're from the same area. Now, I understand why people give Dylan Dennis a bit of shit. I get that.
Well deserved.
Yeah. No, it is what it is. That guy's out there. He's playing with the stars, whatever he's doing. But then people like Artem and people like Houlihan and people like Gallagher, if all these guys have trained with each other for years and all these guys are around each other every other day and they probably go for a beer with each other afterwards, guess what? They're going to have very similar traits. They're going to have very similar personalities, and they're going to say the same shit. Me and you talk maybe 2 or 3 times a week verbally, like over the phone, and I know there's certain things that I can hear when you say them. There's things that I say and vice versa. There's people who I'm friends with or I see every day and I talk to every day, and I have certain tentatives that they have, and I have the same from them. It's just one of those things that you are going to, take things from people and you say them. It's just human nature, and it just baffles me the amount of fuckwits that turn around and they're like, I can't believe he's trying to act like Conor. Have you ever thought the reason why they're friends is because they're both fucking confident as shit and, well, they're Irish, like, so they're gonna have something in common. So, like, it's... Yeah.
If you want to see someone that's trying to act like Conor, go see Kevin Lee at that damn presser.
That was the worst thing ever, because
go see Kevin Lee.
I don't want to be like Conor, and then he quotes things that Conor said the year before in the exact same press conference.
He says to Michael Kidd, "I will change your life," and all we need is the boom life. That we need is that bum word. All right, that's all that was not on there. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I don't want to be like Conor. Like, god damn it, dude. Like, and I like Kevin Lee as a fighter. And I think he said in the I saw it on Twitter today. He said that maybe some people in the media and fans think I'm an asshole. And I'm like, yeah, you are an asshole. You're just a talented fighter, but you're a fucking asshole. Like,
there's nothing wrong with that either, man. I don't care if I genuinely don't care if somebody's an asshole or not. I just want to see him perform.
That's the thing. That's what I say about John Jones all the time. Is he a piece of shit? Sure. Is he fucking junkie? Probably. Is he just a garbage person for the most part? Yes. Is he a damn good fucking light heavyweight? Fuck yeah, he is. He's a great fighter. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if he's like a little shithead. If it's up to me, let him coke out. I don't give a fuck. Just get in there and fight.
Do you think that being an asshole makes you a better fighter per se, or does you think it hinders you?
I think it all depends, man. I mean, you could definitely kind of, well, look, when you're an asshole, you talk like a Kevin Lee, you do things like a John Jones. You're kind of making your own bed. You know what I mean? And it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of, it's weird. I don't know. It's a good question. So, I mean, some of the best fighters, GSP, Anderson Silva, aren't really, like shitty people, at least not, in public.
I don't know, because like when you're looking at certain fighters and you look, say, let me think of somebody, for example. So the obvious ones that we could turn around and say these people are assholes and whatnot, we could always go with, and let's just be completely fair here. I know you're going to hate this, but like the Diaz brothers are assholes. They are, they talk shit. They start with you. They're confrontational. You know what I mean? They don't seem friendly. Do you know what I mean? So that you can't turn around and say that they're nice guys, but then there's an endearment from that. Then there's some people that you could say like a Kevin Lee, your Connors, even John Jones, like people like that. And, a lot of these people, don't relate to them and they want that confrontation. Regardless, I think the key thing is, though, is to be self-aware of talent, but also know that you need to have that self-confidence and belief. Because let's be honest, if you walk in there and you can have all the talent in the world, we all know people. You know them, I know them, we've trained with them, we've watched them fight. You can see it as soon as they step in that cage. There's some people that will forever be gym warriors. And there'll be some people that could perform under the bright lights. And it's a whole different world.
You got to have a certain trait about you to be able to get under the lights and fight, and fight like that, right? I mean, for example, you talk about the Diaz brothers, in the cage, those guys are about reality, I think, right? Like they're like, look, we're gonna fight. We're not playing patty cake. We're not playing basketball. We're not playing badminton. We're gonna put hands on each other. So yeah, in the cage, into their opponent's gonna be total dicks. And a lot of the times, people meet them in person, outside of any kind of fighting, they're like the nicest guys ever. Conor McGregor, and people were like, oh, he's a fucking asshole. When he said after the fight, I apologize to absolutely nobody. The devil champ does what the fuck he wants, right? Yeah. People were like, I remember talking to people that aren't even fight fans. They were like, oh, wow, he's such an asshole. And I'm like, did you know that before, I want to say it was before UFC 189, a little boy was he passed away, and Conor McGregor was, they interviewed him about it. He was basically emotional about it. Yeah. I go, people are just themselves, but when you get in that cage and you're in the bright, like I said, the bright lights, the almost like the most extreme of you has to come out. You know what I mean? Like you do whatever you got to do to deal with those lights. You really do. You do whatever you got to do. For example, in the NBA, Tim Duncan, Tim Duncan, right? Yeah. Tim Duncan is easily going to go down as the best power forward to ever play basketball, right? Professional basketball. And he never had anything but a blank stone face. His face was always stone. He never showed emotion for shit. 5 championships, an MVP, countless All-Stars, countless, first-team defense, a bunch of defensive awards. Retired quietly with a letter that he put online. You know what I mean? He's just himself. And that was just an extreme of himself, in my opinion.
I agree with you though, because there's a lot of people who you look at and they can kind of be that way out, and they don't need the flash and the swagger and the way that they carry themselves in that manner. It's just interesting to kind of see though, because we always tend to see that the extremeness of people, do you know what I mean, that kind of carries themselves a little bit further. And I just wondered, that are we in that generation now where we've discussed this before, where we've talked about people who tend to, in this modern era, not like confrontation. So when a loud, abrupt person is scheduled to fight you, is it more beneficial to be that louder guy? Obviously, there's exceptions to every rule, but is it more beneficial to be the louder guy when people are very scared and timid of being in a confrontation, even though they know they're going to fight and everything like that? But it's different when you've got the pressure of somebody who's saying, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to smash your face in. They're not coming forward. They're not giving you hugs. They're not giving you high fives. They're not giving you fist bumps. They don't let you settle into a fight. They make you on edge before you even go into that fight, because they're thinking, fuck, this guy's going to hurt me. But they were going to hurt you regardless.
That's a beautiful part of psychological warfare, right? The psych part of it. That, again, McGregor's good at. And, the Diaz brothers are good at. I mean, who else goes in there and just totally fucks with you? Not even John Jones. Anderson Silva did it in a certain way, right?
Yeah, he did it in a chilling way.
Yeah. That guy was almost like a serial killer type of way, I think, in my opinion. Well,
you could say Robbie Lawler, the way he just stares down.
Rory's doing it now more, a lot more. I don't know if you saw the broadcast on there. Rory was like, it's another body for the grave or something like that. Like, god damn, talking about Lima. I'm like, holy shit, Rory's a scary guy. First of all, fuck that Red King shit. Get rid of that. Canadian Psycho is the way to fucking go, Rory. What are you doing? God, no one even knows what Red King means. Okay, I don't know what Red King means, but still. But yeah, Rory, Robbie Lawler. I mean, Kevin Lee don't have that shit. Who else doesn't? I mean,
various people who used to stare people down and stuff like that. That had a deep mean mug.
Yeah, that mean mug, it's outdated. But if you have it, that's a special thing, right? Mean mugging. I mean, Fedor. I mean, even now, but before when he fought in Pride, it was very effective. When you had to face off with Fedor, you know what I mean? And he just had this look on his face that literally, obviously he didn't say the words, but in your head, easily, if you had to stare in his eyes, it'd probably be like, if he dies, he dies. You know what I mean? Like that shit from Rocky.
You know what? We missed 2 people who should have been synonymous with that.
Huh.
Wanderlei Silva, back in the day.
This shit.
And Cro Cop. Because when Cro Cop stood in front of him, that was the scare. That's one of the very few moments when I was younger and I watched MMA, I was like, whoa. That's scary. He just stood there
Not only that, most of the time you're probably staring at his legs. You're like, what was it they said again? Right leg hospital, left leg cemetery, or was it left leg hospital? Fuck. He's gonna kick me. You know what I mean? That's got to be what went through some people's minds. Like, this is gonna fucking blow. Why did I sign this shit? Fuck my manager. This is horse shit. Why am I in here? You know what I mean, like, just knowing that guy's gonna kick you at some point with either one, you're gonna get fucked up no matter which way he hits you with.
It's such a shame because when we look now and we look at some of these guys like we just mentioned, like Wanderlei still fighting and BJ Penn fighting, and you just think to yourself like, enough's enough, man. Unless you're gonna go and you're gonna get on some of those tainted supplements up in fucking Oklahoma or Japan or I don't know, some bullshit like that, then just please don't fight anymore. Because you know what, I don't like really to say to many fighters that they should stop fighting, but watching BJ last night having to reset, that was not resetting. That was not resetting. That was, I'm not going to allow myself to get knocked out. I need to get out of the way.
That was, and people were asking me today, I was at work, some of the guys that watch them, they watch, MMA once in a while, they actually caught this card because BJ Penn was on it, and that's one of the names that they recognize. And the dude was telling me like, whoa, no, I was like, was that his worst fight? And I'm like, that was his saddest fight. His previous saddest fight was a Frankie Edgar fight. Here's why this one's sadder. It's because it's against fucking Dennis Siver. Post USADA, Dennis Siver, okay? It was the saddest shit I've seen ever because it wasn't even like a high-level Frankie Edgar or high-level Yair Rodriguez fucking him up. It was Dennis Siver, not even middle of the pack, 145er, you know what I mean? That it looks deflated as fuck to me, you know what I mean? And
he looked dead to rights, but he just seems to have the energy advantage. But
cardio.
You know what the main thing is, though, is, and I don't even think that was the key factor. I think it's the moment that all fighters realize, me and my friend were talking about this with footballers, and it happens with a lot of like basketball players and NFL players as well. But you know that moment where, like, you know, when you're training with the young cats, so like if you're playing basketball and stuff like that, like if you were playing hoops, if you were trying to mark a certain player and they've got like 15 years on you, so they're like 15, 16, you're like 30, they're gonna run rings around you, like legit. Like your mind is saying, I need to do this, but by the time you thought about it, they've moved, and your body just cannot catch up with your own thoughts. And you know, last night you could see that BJ wanted to do certain things. Like that uppercut that caught, you could see he was trying to time it, but every time he tried to throw something, too late.
Yeah, he would have got hit already. And, you know, you see, like I said, you see football, people, NBA players, Charles Barkley in his last game in the NBA, and, you know, Charles Barkley is a Hall of Famer. He took the Phoenix Suns to the NBA Finals and had to lose to Michael Jordan, of course, everyone did. But he, in his last game with the Houston Rockets, people cheered because he got a bucket.
Yeah.
That had never happened before. And that's when Charles Barkley, like, you could tell he was just like, fuck, I'm done. Like, his last game, he scored a bucket, and people were super happy that he didn't go scoreless. You're just like, God damn it, you know? And it's the thing with BJ Penn. BJ couldn't, just like I said, he looked like he knew what was coming. He knew exactly what to do to get out of this way. And he's like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. And before he even thought it, it's like, pop. Before his body moved, pop. It was just like, dude, he couldn't, I mean, BJ Penn's one of the best ever at checking kicks, right? He used to check kicks like it was nothing. And fucking, he ate a shit ton yesterday on both sides of each leg.
I don't understand either. Like, this is one thing that kind of like has weirded me out recently about watching BJ, is the fact that when we first ever associated anything with BJ Penn, he was a jiu-jitsu guy. Like, that was his thing. Like, and I always wonder why he relies on hands once the speed's gone, because the grappling aspect of his game should be still there. You don't. I think you have to be to a degree fast. But I think placement and movement and positioning and pressure with grappling is just as important, if not more important, than being agile when on the ground. And a part of me was just like, BJ's on the ground here, and he just doesn't seem to know what he's even doing. But this is a guy who's like supposed to be a high-level grappler, and it just seemed like when you were on the ground with Siver, like Siver just had him, and like BJ just didn't have anything. And I was like, this is the guy who, you know, he's the prodigy. He's the motherfucking prodigy. Like, yeah. And it's just strange. But we'll leave that there. But the one thing that I do want to address, though, that I did kind of find interesting about BJ is the fact that he had his shorts inside out.
And it's like I didn't notice it right away. Somebody else hit me up about that. They were telling me, why is the shorts inside out? Why shorts inside out? I'm like, I don't know. And then I looked, and I didn't see the drawstrings, but they were sticking out. Now, most of the time, if your drawstrings and your shorts are sticking out, the ref tells you to tuck them in.
Yeah.
The ref doesn't say shit. Those things are flying everywhere the whole fucking fight. So, and then I started noticing, I'm like, oh shit, this shit's inside out. Why the fuck? And I wonder if maybe like it's either like a he didn't want to have to rock Reebok. Everyone's on the Reebok protest thing.
That's right.
Or he just or he was wearing, because he has these shorts that he has that have like a black belt on it, right?
Yeah.
And maybe he was wearing those, and they go, "No, you can't wear that shit. You gotta flip the shit around." And it was like way too late. Like he said, "Fuck it, I'm not letting them see me until right before I walk out. That way they can't say shit, and they gotta let me in the cage." And they're like, "No, go around the corner right here and fucking inside out, dude. We gotta go." It was one of the to me it was one or the other, but I think he just is not repping Reebok. I think he knows his horse shit.
I agree with you. I saw today a few people saying that it was an anti-Reebok statement, but nothing official has been said by him.
I don't think he's saying very much right now. I think that dude's literally probably sitting somewhere in Hawaii or I don't know, maybe still in what was it? In Oklahoma? No, he's not Oklahoma, but he's probably back at home somewhere, sitting down, just trying to figure out what the fuck just happened. Because that was like one of the nastier wake-up calls I think we've seen in a while. Because it wasn't like he got knocked out and caught. Because if he gets knocked out in the first round or something, I got caught. He was outclassed by Dennis fucking Seaver. All respect to Dennis Seaver, but recognize the level he's at. Recognize the level that he's at.
The crazy thing is, though, is both 38, and yet you think to yourself, well, BJ at one time was a world champion. Like, BJ is one of those guys that's fought at different weights, from top to bottom, and he's been strong from top to bottom. And now we're looking and we're going, you can't even beat Dennis Seaver. Enough's enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We were joking around yesterday. I think my boy Dave put this on the chat. Yeah, he put it on the chat right here. Penn versus Punk boxing match. No, first of all, no. But I mean, I wonder if he wants to fight again. If he wants to fight again, and you give him like the easiest winnable match ever, he can go on a W. But I don't think it's too late for that. I think this was that fight. He was supposed to win this one, right?
All I know is I got a lot of grief for saying that Punk was better than Pico because he lasted longer in his debut.
People took it serious. That what happened?
Yeah. People was like legit kicking off at me. I had loads of people DM me like, "Bro, you should just take that shit down. That's disrespectful to wrestlers." I was like, "Bro, like CM Punk's a pro wrestler."
yeah, exactly. I'm just like, what? No, BJ Penn versus CM Punk. No, but I don't know about you, but I think I kind of hope BJ just hangs it up, and then if he wants to keep competing, because look, he doesn't need the money, right? This guy's worth millions. I think. I'm pretty sure his family's pretty rich. They're like one of the richest families in Hilo. So he's got money. He's not missing meals. I think if it's really about competition and about being a warrior and continuing to fight, why don't you enter the submission grappling, enter EBI, enter something like that? Continue your competition just on the jiu-jitsu level. You know what I mean? And in fact, I think if BJ Penn entered a submission underground, entered an EBI, can you imagine people going, wait a minute, BJ Penn's doing what? Fuck, I gotta watch that. You know what I mean?
Can we
eyeballs that would come.
Fuck, let's have Eddie Bravo versus BJ Penn. Let's do shits and giggles.
Dude, don't tease me, bro. I want to see that.
That'd be cool as fuck, though. Do you know what I mean? Like two guys
rolling.
Do you know what I mean? Like it'd be cool as fuck. Like both stick with the dad as well.
Yeah. Oh, dude, how great the two most flexible dudes on the planet fighting each other. Yeah. Like fuck, dude. I would be like, we would have to do like a live fight companion for that one.
100%.
There's no way I could live tweet that. I'd be like, oh my god, what the fuck? Oh my god! I'm just losing my mind. I couldn't type shit. It'd be crazier than that fucking combat EBI where nobody knew what the hell we were. Like, I don't know what the fuck I was seeing. Strikes in jiu-jitsu is like, oh, well, what the fuck's going on here? This is basically MMA. What kind of MMA? I mean, what are we doing? And I was like, I couldn't type shit. I literally go, oh shit! Like, if you go back to that cage side press and you go back that fucking far to where it was combat jiu-jitsu, it was like, oh shit, like a bunch of kind of like stuff like that. Like I had no idea what I was watching. If you put fucking BJ Penn and Eddie Bravo in a jiu-jitsu match, it's going to have to be like video audio because I can't type shit. I'm going to be losing my mind.
Oh, 100%. I was struggling like hell when I was doing the play-by-play for Submission Underground, the last one with Jake Shields and Manus, that entire card. But it was just insane. I think I think doing play-by-play for jiu-jitsu is near enough impossible. Like, it's like trying to watch a boxing match and literally tweet every specific punch that's being thrown as it's being thrown. It's just not possible.
It's very difficult in jiu-jitsu, but I think at that point, what I like to do when I live tweet it, I like to talk about positions. I'm like, okay, he's at the mount. I mean, looking like he's trying to isolate an arm, looking like he's trying to, get him to give his backup. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I like to talk about positions and what's possible from here. And then when they go for a submission, it's like, oh, he almost had this, but it got defended like this. And I'm very quick. I'm a very fast typer, like very quick. So it's like it kind of works for me. But believe me, after every match, I'm just sitting here going, oh my God, how many fucking more of these things I got to do? Like that's why like that's what you and I were talking about doing like fight companions for like EBI and shit. I'm all about that. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a way better idea than what I was doing. Live tweeting that shit.
I'd just like to state that your boy Dave agrees with me though that Punk lasting longer than Pico is something. Just saying, but
it's not anything. No, stop it. Dave's a fucking Dave. Here's the thing about Dave. Dave is probably like one of my like. He doesn't always troll, but you can tell when at least I can tell when he's trolling a little bit. That's a troll. Dave, what the fuck, bro? Like, he's probably laughing to himself right now.
When the next EBI, I believe it's is it July 30th?
I don't have the date on top of my head, but I think you're right. It's gonna be the female flyweights.
No, I thought it was the
featherweight, something with the F. I think it was featherweights. I think you're right.
Either way, if scheduling allows it, I think we could do a little something.
Yeah, we'll have to work on it. See what's up.
I could do a little something because I know I won't be doing anything that Sunday because there's literally no events that'll be on that Sunday. So that's the only thing I'll have to watch. But fucking hell, man! Like I don't know. There's just a part of me that thinks that with all this weekend that's gone on, seeing some of the hardcore fans turning around and going on about like how they loved Bellator this weekend. I was just like, you like watching car crashes. That's what you like. You're that guy who tunes in to watch cops to see if one of the guys flips over in his car. Like, you're that guy.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, people were giving me shit. Like, oh, you're just a hater. I'm like, I'm a hater for Bellator. Like, oh, you're a UFC shill. And I'm like, first of all, if I'm a UFC shill, where the hell are my fucking royalties? Where are my checks at, motherfucker? All right? I want my UFC shill money. Like you know how like everyone says Joe Rogan's a flat earth shill? Yeah. And where his checks at flat earth money, he's like, you fucking diving around that shit. I want my UFC show money, motherfuckers. That being said, I shit all over the OKC card too. All right? I'm just calling it like I see it. Fucking Bellator was a shit show. All right? It was exciting at certain times, but that's, the way I put it, this is fucking the Pico fight. You got caught. The Larkin Lima fight. That was a striking chess match. I'll give him that. I enjoyed watching that because that was strategic.
That was the best fight on the card in theater. Easily.
And nobody got finished. You know what I mean? But it was strategic. Fucking I enjoyed the hell out of that fight for real. What was the fight after that? The Chandler fight where he got no, it wasn't that. That was the Pico fight was after that. But the Pico fight dude got caught and he was like, well fuck, there goes that, right? The next one was the Chandler fight, I believe. Chandler gets now. Yeah. What he said, I believe what he said today, I saw it on Twitter, was that he got kicked in the calf and it hit a nerve and his foot went numb, right? But when you were watching it, it looked like a broken ankle. That was one of the most disgusting things you've seen in a while.
It looked like he stepped, like it looked like his lead leg when it was getting, like when, I forgot the name of the other dude. Is it Freeman?
No, Primus.
Primus, that's the one. So when Primus went to kick that lead leg, I thought he stepped back to avoid the next kick, and when he stepped back, he accidentally rolled his ankle.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I mean, from what he said, it was a nerve issue. Now he might just be bullshitting, but but it looked like he would step on that thing and it would roll on him. Like it was almost like he couldn't lift his foot up. Like it was that bad. So who knows really what happened? But the fucking finish on that fight was awful. First of all, he hurt Primus. Right before the ref stopped the fight to have the doctor see this shit, Primus was rocked to shit. Potentially Chandler could have gone right on top of him and fucked him up and finished that fight right then and there. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised Chandler didn't try and take him down, if I'm honest.
Oh, after he got hurt?
Yeah.
I think Chandler, because Chandler's one of those guys that's like, he calls himself the Mike Tyson of MMA or something like that, which is a bizarre nickname or a bizarre thing to call yourself, to be honest with you. But he's a heavy hitter. I think he wanted to put on a show against the guy that clearly, and to be honest with you, I agree with him, doesn't belong in there with a guy like Michael Chandler.
Yeah.
You know, so I think maybe that's what he wanted, do some kind of show. Like, dude,
Yeah,
you know,
but like, when you've hurt your leg, like, just take him down. Give yourself a minute, and just you're gonna win the round just by taking him down and laying on him. And you know, people can give me grief saying, "Oh yeah, but you say that you like to see him like advance and you like to see him try and finish." Yeah, I do, but I'm also like smart enough to know that if I had a broken fucking ankle and I weren't doing rate cracking, I might need 5 minutes just to try and get my bearings. I might just need 5 minutes to try and go for an armbar or a Kimura or try and get full mount and just try and fucking smash his face in, rather than trying to walk on my broken ankle. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, and honestly, if you think about it, let's say he takes him down and sits on top of him. Is it possible that maybe he could have, the ref would have stopped that fight? It's possible. I mean, the ref maybe wouldn't have seen that the ankle was fucked up, you know, because the only reason the ref stopped is because he kept seeing that fucking ankle flip around like a fish.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So who knows, man? And obviously, you know, in the moment, it's probably hard to figure. You have to think.
But let's be honest, the true winner of that entire fight was the New York State Athletic Commission when they pulled the stool from underneath him. Like,
yeah,
get shit together, New York.
I love New York for that reason, because they're so new to this shit that they're still like little like idiots with that shit. I mean, you pulled the stool from under. It was hilarious, first of all right, and because I saw it live, I was sitting here watching it with my roommate, and she just started watching MMA. She started following jiu-jitsu because I train, and she's coming to my competitions and stuff. And so she was watching it. She burst out fucking laughing. She goes, the commission guy just pulled the stool out. And it's like, I look over and he pulls the stool and then goes Chandler butt first on the fucking mat. It was hilarious. Fucked up, but hilarious. But yeah, best gift of the entire night, I think. Of that entire night. Yeah. Not Sunday night. The best / worst gift was the next night. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But that was the best gift of the night.
Yeah, because I think one of the other great gifts of that night of Bellator was the double knockdown of Fedor versus Matt Mitrione. Because I actually thought to myself, I sat up. Bear in mind, guys, for me in the UK, this was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I want to say, so 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm half asleep. I'm dying. Like, I'm struggling, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when they threw in that bullshit intermission fight with the Gracie, like, throw Gracie out there. We'll find anyone that'll do. And threw that in between the Fedor and the Chael Sonnen fight, I thought I was gonna die. But that Fedor fight, as soon as I saw that fucking double knockdown, I just sat up and I was like wide awake. I was like, holy fuck! And I think that's what made me even more tired, because I was like, did we just witness a double knockout? Because if that had been the case, could that pay-per-view have gone any worse?
I don't know. That was just bad, dude. I don't even want to fucking. Okay, let's talk about the double knockdown, okay? I was hoping for a double knockout. Would have been at that point. I just want to laugh my ass off, right? Because I was already laughing from earlier on. You know, and I was like when they both got hit, I'm like, oh shit, double knockdown. Fuck, is it over? And it's like, no, Mitrione gets up and fucks Fedor up. What annoyed me after that was the people on Twitter going, oh, it's a sad day for Fedor. I'm like, tonight was a sad day for Fedor? Tonight? You didn't watch that shit in Russia where they handed him a W after getting his ass beat the shit out of by Fabio Maldonado? But tonight was the saddest night? Exactly. Fuck out of here with that shit. That dude should not be. I don't know. I wish I could say he shouldn't be fighting, but it's up to the fighter, to be honest with you.
The Mitrione fight, you could have called a little bit of luck. Because you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the Dan Hardy versus Carlos Condit, where they both get left hook.
Yeah.
One of them gets the other guy first and just a little bit more flush. But if both of them have hit, or one had got a little bit quicker than the other, that's what would have happened.
No, that's exactly what it looked like too. And you know, I didn't think about it until later. I didn't think about that until later. I was like, yeah, who else did that? I mean, I looked up. We've seen double knockouts in MMA, right? In different promotions, but Dan Hardy doing that was awesome. Like, it's not like Dan Hardy was the one that got knocked out. That being said, you know, it looked like that, yeah. But no, I mean, and then Mitrione goes off afterwards, and he's just like, oh, before I answer your question, Golden State Warrior or President Trump, you know, the Golden State Warriors, I want to go see you. Invite me. I'll come to the White House. I'm like, what?
Like, he ain't gonna see your bitch ass. Like, come on.
He's gonna go, who? Not who?
Who the?
He goes, what?
Who the fuck?
Yeah. I got you. Who the fuck are you? Or who the fuck is that guy? That guy shit. Anyway, But fucking yeah, I don't know. Fucking to me that was I don't know. To me that was just dumb. That was just to me it was dumb. No, mind you keep political opinions as far as they are. It doesn't really matter as far as the sport goes.
I don't
right?
care about their fucking opinions.
Exactly.
Stupid to call like and say like, oh, Mr. President, let me come and see you. Like, okay. Like of all the things you could have said, you could have been like, if I'd have been him, because nobody did it the entire night, and I kind of hope somebody did. I wanted to hear somebody after winning go, 50 G's, Coca.
That'd have been the shit. That'd have been great.
Nobody did it though. I was kind of bugged out. I was like, nobody did it. Like, come on.
No, but does Bellator do bonus money?
I don't know, but it's good to ask.
Oh yeah, I would ask too.
You never get until you ask for a raise. That's what I always get told.
I'd be like, Coker, exactly. I just knocked out the greatest of all time. 50 G's.
50 G's, Coca.
Yeah. But no, here's the thing. I was talking to somebody about that. He's like, what do you think about Mitrione saying, the whole Trump thing? Talking about the Golden State Warriors don't want to go. And I'm like, Mitrione, look, Mitrione's his own man. He's gonna say his own opinion. But a big white dude talking about how a bunch of black basketball players don't want to go to the White House to see President Trump. I'm just, what I mean? Like Mitrione, did you even think about before you said that shit? Now you just made it even more divided. Like, okay, dude. Like, hey, you know what, Matt? I'm excited. I know you just came off a huge knockout, probably the biggest win of your career, and you probably got caught in a little bit of that. Probably didn't think about it, but he also owns what he says, so I can't give him too much shit.
I think Durant versus Matt Mitrione makes sense for the next Bellator main event.
Wait, who?
Matt Mitrione.
Versus who?
Durant.
Fuck it. Even though Durant's got the reach, he's got the height, but Mitrione's a fucking heavy hitter.
Exactly. I'm saying we could do some WWE WrestleMania bullshit and we can have that fight happen and we can have it in Washington at the fucking White House. Let's do it.
And you know what? I'll put Draymond Green instead of Kevin Durant. Draymond Green against Matt Mitrione.
I just feel really, really bad that I told one of my friends to put money on Mike Chandler to win, and well.
Oh. You know what? Honestly, I didn't see the betting line, but I would assume it's a bad fight to bet on. First of all,
yeah, he did put a lot of money on it because he put it in his what we call an accumulator. I don't know if you have that.
No, I don't gamble, so I wouldn't even know.
Basically, it's like instead of picking one fight for the win, you pick who's gonna win each person through the entire card, and what it does is it accumulates all of the odds to make a bigger amount. So
gotcha.
Say if you had all of the favorites and you had to say 10 fights, you might only get a 10 or a 12 to 1. So you might put £1 down and you'll get £12 back. You know what I mean?
Oh, I got you. Almost like a parlay?
Pardon?
Like a parlay?
That might be what you guys call it.
Okay.
But all I do know is if you put the odd underdog in there, you could bump it up to say 200, 300 to 1. So
yeah. I don't bet. So I don't fucking know.
Cool. Yeah. All right.
I don't gamble. I work too damn hard for my money. I can't get. It's hard for me to gamble any of that shit. So.
Hey, when I put money on the 202 card, I literally got every fight right, and I won £100 off of £1. But what really annoyed me is on UFC 2. You know where you can do the live events where you can actually. Mm-hmm. Well, kind of possibly maybe predicted every round and every finish as well. For 202.
Goddamn.
For 202, I got every fight right, every round, and by ways of victory as well. And I didn't put money. If I'd have put money on that, I'd have been in the grands. Easy.
Easy. Fucking A, man. What is the fight on that Bellator card? Oh, the main event.
I'm not about that life.
It's two old guys that don't have TRT anymore fighting.
You know what was the best thing about that main event? Tito getting chanted, "Fuck you, Tito." That was probably the best
dude.
That entire fucking fight.
For a solid 2 minutes, if you go back to the timeline for the live tweets, there was no action from me. Because when I start hearing "Fuck you, Tito," I go, "Are they hearing "Fuck you, Tito"?" And I turn on my TV and I'm like, holy shit, they're going fucking Tito. And I'm literally rolling on the couch laughing. Because I'm like, Tito, totally backfired on your dumb ass. Come on, dog. Stop acting like that. He's acting like a jackass at this point.
Yeah, but it was very funny that he turned around and went, you got sparked out, you pussy. He knocked you down, pussy.
Yeah.
That was funny, though, just because it's no matter what no matter what Chael Sonnen says, he lost.
You know what the best part of that whole thing after the whole fucking pussy thing, or you got knocked out pussy, was Evangeline, watch the double leg. 0.5 seconds later, power double, takedown. And I'm sitting there going, like talking to my roommate knows about Tito. She still, she watched UFC a little bit back in the day, and I was telling her, I was like, I like how Tito was telling him double leg, and then he got double legged. Like, dude, you should know Vanderlei Silva ain't got no takedown defense, man. Settle down with your shit, dog.
I just can't believe that anybody thought that after that fight, when Chael Sonnen went full WWE and started calling out Fedor, that should ever happen. If you ever want to see Fedor fight again, you're an idiot. And if you want to see Chael Sonnen fight against him, you're even more of an idiot.
Yeah, he'll fight. I think Sonnen will fight one more time. I think Fedor will fight one more time, but I don't think it'll be with each other. So
it's just, you know what, right? Like, I appreciate that Bellator are trying to do great things, and I like as well. One thing that I will give a compliment to him is I heard that apparently today he said, did Scott Coker, that he wanted to do like 3 to 4 pay-per-views a year because he didn't want to oversaturate and stuff like that. What he really means is we can't afford to, and nobody tunes in. But the point still being is, hey, I'm just saying, somebody put that on the free TV. You feel free to correct me, but Spike's free in the States, isn't it?
Spike is free here. Well, no, it's a cable, so it's part of your cable package that you pay for.
Oh, okay. Well, I just saw that somebody said that they had at peak, they had 1.1 million during the I think it was the Bader versus Davis fight. It was
the peak being the first minute and a half of the fight.
Yeah.
That's fucking awful.
But that's free TV though. 1.1 on free TV, like for a big spectacle like Bellator was, like this specific event. I'm not saying that the fight night probably did maybe 200, if that, at peak. But the point being is the amount of money that went into promoting this and the amount it cost them to pay the certain fighters that were on. Like, that Fedor's getting paid bank. That Chael's getting paid bank. All of these fucking names are getting paid big money. Do you know what I mean? In consideration.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to find the numbers they did on pay-per-view. I don't think it's out yet.
Regardless, either way, I know that they want to do ones whenever they can, when they can build up another big card and stack it really good. And I get that. But for me, who apart from the people that were on that pay-per-view, who else is there that could really, who would you really pay to see? Like, who would you pay 50? Like, you had to pay $50 over here. We had to pay $20. Do you know what I mean? Like, who would you even pay to watch in Bellator?
Yeah. You know what they're gonna try and do? They're gonna be like, oh, we just got this new guy from UFC, someone that just got fucking sent out, like some UFC like washout. That's what's gonna happen. And that's the funny thing is people are like, oh, they're getting all these like fucking, they're taking all these fights, all the talent from UFC. Bellator's gonna catch up. They're gonna catch up. Like, dude, they're getting all the guys that have nothing left from UFC. Benson Henderson comes to the Bellator. What does he have? What happens? He loses. Okay. Roy McDonald is their brightest UFC name. You know what I mean? I give him full credit for that one. Lawrence Larkin, one of the brighter ones. I give him credit for that one. But I mean, who else is there? Chael Sonnen, Vanderlei Silva. Okay, they had Rampage. They still do. I don't know how that's working out. They got Roy Nelson, and then when Aga gets the biggest fucking acquisition ever in the heavyweight division. Like, dude, no. Like, stop. People need to stop. Look, and I guess promotion, right? But start looking at at the product you're looking at and see it for what it is. You know what I mean? Roy Nelson, he fucking lost his last 2 fights, I think. I want to say. Yeah,
because he beat Bigfoot, didn't he? But that was the only win that he had in like his last 3 fights.
Yeah. So losing streak. Lawrence Larkin had, before these last 2 wins over Neil Magny and I think Masvidal, he was on a losing streak. Yeah. Roy McDonald, I think he had lost a couple weird fights, right?
Roy McDonald lost 2 fights, didn't he? Because he lost to Robbie and then he lost to Wonderboy.
Benson Henderson leaves the UFC because he's not getting sponsorship money and because the UFC don't want to pay him because he's boring, in their opinion, right?
And we got, apart from his last fight that were in Singapore, he lost 2 or 3 in a row.
Okay, you see the pattern here.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? 100%. Yeah. Except what people are saying is Bellator going, oh, we got these guys from UFC. They're finally catching up. I will say it right away, 100% honest. I want Bellator to catch up because when you have legit competition, the product skyrockets. You have some of the best, dude. I swear, if Bellator ever catches up to the UFC, you're gonna have some of the best MMA you've ever seen in your life. That being said, that being said, it's not happening right now. It's not happening. Yeah, the brightest name that you got for UFC is Rory McDonald, and again, the pattern is there: losing streak, problems with whatever. It's just like, let's just call it what it is. It's almost like it's doing reruns. You're doing reruns of fights. They did a rerun of a fight. Fucking Bader Phil Davis 2 was a rerun of the first fight to the fucking T, dude, to the split decision win, to Bader taking it. Only difference, there was some belt on the line. That's the only difference in that fight.
Do you think, and I know that they've got ties, do you think it would be more beneficial for Rizin and Bellator to be one promotion and do ones in the States and one in Japan?
I mean, I would like it, but here's the difference between Rizin. Rizin does, like, to where I joke around about Bellator being a circus, and they do fucking act like one sometimes. Rizin is a legit circus. You had big ass Gabby Garcia. What's up?
No, I get that. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they like share talent.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you think to yourself, like, the amount of talent they'd have then, and they could send some over for 1 month to go over there and one to go over there 2 months. You know what I mean? And like, you could have like a big division that, like, you could have bigger divisions. You could try and discover stars because you've got more availability to do shows. You don't have to just do one Bellator one a month. You could do one. Say it became just like I don't know, Bellator Rising. Just call it that, just because So, fuck it, let's just call it Warriors Rising because that's,
there you go.
You know what I mean? But like, you do that anyway, and then you've actually started to discover stars. You can actually do pay-per-views every 2 weeks to a month, and you could do them one every 2 weeks, different fucking country. You could do one over in the States, go over to Japan, States, Japan, States, Japan, States, Japan, and then when you want to do a mega one like every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a big fucking tournament. Let's do a mega tournament where you get like the like a one night stand thing where you have like a Grand Prix and you have like the best 55ers that they've got. Best 55ers, 16 of them, one night. Who will be champion? Like bring it back. Do the Bellator thing, man. Do the Pride thing even.
What I would like Bellator to do, I think Coker's talked about it before. They need to do some Grand Prix tournaments, man. I think Bellator would be an awesome place to do that. Awesome place, right? But that being said, I mean, I think as far as Bellator, here's the thing about the UFC and Bellator, in my opinion. Okay, Bellator fucks up simple shit. Okay, not being live when your fights are on the West Coast in California, in San Jose, California. Most of your events are there, and you are not live in the houses outside the arena. They can't watch your shit live on TV. Because it's going to be 4 hours later because whatever fucking problem you have with Spike TV, the way that works, even though Viacom, that owns Spike TV, that owns fucking Bellator, can't get the shit out your heads out of their asses. You know what I mean? Like, when you can't get that little fucking thing right, why do you expect them to catch up to the UFC? You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing. You want to be great, you got to do all the little things right, okay? You can't just do the big things right. You can't just bring in a Roy Nelson. You can't just bring in a Fedor. That's a big swing. Great, good for you, okay? But the little things can't be right. You can't figure out that you're not gonna have time for that Neiman Gracie fight, and it just you left the fuck out because Michael Chandler broke his ankle or busted his ankle or whatever, his leg. Because of that, you got lucky and you had time to do that Gracie fight. That Gracie fight was gonna go in the dark. That was gonna be a dark fight if it wasn't for Chandler getting injured. You know what I'm saying? Like the little things, man. They're fucking up all the little tiny things.
That's the thing, though. I think that people enjoyed this pay-per-view because it reminded them of the early UFC days, because that's when UFC used to make all those silly mistakes and all those little bullshit things. Like, and I get that people miss the old UFC days and stuff like that. But then if you miss the old UFC days, do not ever come at me with that bullshit when you turn around and say, I want the UFC to be a legit sport. I want MMA to be a legit sport. You can't.
It wasn't back then.
You can't say, because it was human cockfighting, if we're being fair. Like, there was some, don't get me twisted, like, there was some great martial arts, don't get me twisted. But the point still is that it was human cockfighting, where there were bullshit events, there were people on roids, there were all kinds of craziness going on. And yeah, we enjoyed the craziness, but if we want this to be a sport, we want this to be a league of sorts, then we need it official, man. We can't have this bullshit where people like one of the main things that I hated most about that pay-per-view is 1 minute that Ranallo was on commentary, 1 minute Goldberg was on commentary, and then the other thing that annoyed the hell out of me is Mario Ranallo, when he was kind of hosting the broadcast panel in between fights, it genuinely looked like he was looking after two teenage kids, Brendan Schaub and what's the other guy's name?
Josh Thompson.
There we go. Genuinely, those two guys, there was like two kids that had been told that they got to be on TV. They
need some media training, but they have potential, right? And Brendan Schaub, he has his podcast. They have potential, I think. But Brendan Schaub is his podcast. He's getting practice. Brendan Schaub's also a stand-up comedian. The problem is, like, I think, they need a little bit of TV training. Like, we've seen it with UFC Tonight when they bring in Tyron Woodley, they bring in Michael Bisping, they bring in, those guys are actually serviceable, right? They're actually, Bisping actually kind of like on there. Tyron Woodley's actually okay on there. Yeah. But then they bring in Yves Edwards, and I'm like, ooh, no, dude, don't do it. Please don't. Yeah. They bring in Frankie Edgar. I'm like, oh, God damn it. No, Frankie.
It's the biggest event of your company's history.
And they bring in two teenagers to go fuck on there. You know what I mean? That was, in my opinion, that was just like a fuck it, let's just try it anyway, right? They got them on there because they're names. They didn't get them on there because they're good. They got them on there because they're names.
What it felt like is they tried to capture the thunder in a bottle of a fight companion.
Right, dude, that's exactly what I thought too when I saw it. When I heard Brendan Schaub's gonna be on there, I'm like, oh, why not get Rogan and fucking Brian Callen and Eddie Bravo on there too? That's what you guys are looking for. You know what I mean? I mean, fucking Brendan Schaub threw out that whole "have fun with that" or enjoy that. He threw that out like 16 times. Like, dude, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You're you're in a place of a broadcaster. You're a commentator. You're a professional broadcaster in this spot. You're not in a fucking a fight companion that 2 seconds in is going to turn into what we call talking about Tower 7 and shit left and right. You know what I mean? Flat Earth. That's not what you're doing. You're a professional commentator. Now, again, everyone's going to go, you're being a hater, Eddie. Why are you being a hater? Not being a hater. But if you want to be a professional, act like a professional and fucking get your shit right.
How the fuck can you be a hater if you subscribe to somebody's podcast? Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I watch and I listen to his shit. I shit you not. The Big Brown Breakdown, I watch that shit. Okay, why? Because on there, he's good. Especially when he has a guest on there, he's good. The fight companions, I love Brendan Schaub on that because he just he gets in there 5 to 10 minutes in. He waits for Eddie Bravo to settle down, for the high to kick in, the wine to kick in with Brian Callen, for Rogan to be serious about something, and then he just goes, "Hey Eddie, Tower 7," and then it was like dropping a grenade in between of a bunch of a big group of dudes, right? And it just fucking goes from there. I love Brendan Schaub for that. I think Brendan Schaub is funny. Okay,
I agree.
He is not a professional broadcaster. That was, to me, not the spot to put him in.
I felt so sorry for Ranallo when he was trying to take the lead and control the panel and try and carry the conversations to lead to certain places. And what was beautiful about it, and it's one of Ranallo is one of my favorite commentators in any sports, because people always take the piss out of him, saying that he's very animated and Mamma Mia and all that stuff and whatnot. But the thing is, though, is he was using certain words that you could tell that those two didn't have a clue what he was saying. He was using eloquent words of dialogue where these two guys were just like, huh?
Remember when he used to do that in Pride and Bas Rutten was like, Bas Rutten would actually say, "I have no fucking clue what you're talking about." Like
Bas Rutten's first language ain't English though.
No. But I love that about Bas. Bas was honest about it. Bas would look at him and be like, "I don't even know what you said." There was times when Bas Rutten would look over at Ranallo and be like, "What? What does that even mean, dude?" Like, and it was funny, right? But Brendan Schaub and Thompson were trying to play it off like they knew what he was talking about, and I'm like, "Oh God, we know you don't know, you fucking idiots." But
I didn't even know what you were saying, and I'm a fan.
Yeah, exactly. All of that being said, that's the first serious, I call it serious because that's the first pay-per-view, but it's the first serious pay-per-view, right? So growing pains are going to be, just like UFC 1, 2, and 3 and all that, it's going to be growing pains and stuff, right? I just wish they would like learn from others' mistakes, right? They would go back and watch the early UFCs and go, huh, that looks like that didn't work. That didn't work. Let's not do that. Okay, that works. Let's do that. Okay. For example, like the walkouts for Bellator, I actually like the video product, the little video packages. Dude, those video packages when the Southern one kind of sucked, but the Vanderlei Silva one, when they had him on, this says axe murder, and then comes in that fucking fucking techno music, whatever the hell that shit is. I was like, ooh shit! I actually got pumped up for a second. When they did the one for who else did they have on that was actually pretty good?
The Chandler one. The
Chandler one was legit as fuck. Like, first of all, I was already hyped to see Michael Chandler fight. Then you put out that video package, and I'm like, God damn, Michael Chandler's about to fight. Let's go. You know what I mean?
And you know what's the best thing? They ripped that all off from wrestling.
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing. And the thing is, and that's the feeling it gave me. The walkout is, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? I almost waited for that package to pop out and fucking Dwayne Johnson to fucking walk out. Back when we were kids, when we were kids and Stone Cold Steve Austin, the glass breaking. As soon as you heard that glass break, you're like, oh shit. That kind of gave me that feeling when the Michael Chandler package came out, and especially when the Vanderlei Silva one came out. I knew the fight was gonna be shit, but just the fact that Vanderlei fucking Silva, the axe murder, was gonna come out, that video package got me hyped for a second. That I love that about Bellator. But I wish they would look at the old UFCs and learn from those mistakes. That's what they're making right now. Those exact mistakes.
100%. With that same thing said, there's a few little things we need to talk about for the UFC. Let's not be neglectful. There's
a little bit, a little few.
There's just a little few. Now, I'll start off with saying there were some interesting fights on that card. That Case fight was a brilliant fight.
Oh, dude, I had to read because you were talking. We were talking on fucking Twitter, and I was like, I'm missing that fight. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. Watched it. I was entertaining as fuck. The Jeremy Kimball knockout was all right. I enjoyed that.
Exactly. Did you see the tap that I was talking about where he gets the Kimura?
I thought he tapped.
I thought he tapped.
I'm surprised that the ref didn't see that.
Because it's like, I know his arm is underneath his back when he's rolled him, but he flicks his hand to tap the guy on his shoulder. It's not like he tried to move his arm. He's tapping the guy on his shoulder to make him aware of something. That's a tap.
That looked like a tap, right? To me, it looked like a tap. I don't know. But at the same time, I mean, it didn't get called to survive that shit. I was like, ooh, that arm's going to hurt. Like, I almost wanted to look up some like post-fight interviews with Case to see if maybe he goes, yeah, I tapped, or my shoulder's super fucked or whatever. But
that could have been 50 G's for fucking what's his face though?
Who did he fight?
I forgot his fucking name already. That's how bad this card was for me, if I'm honest, because it was tied by this way out.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think they did a fight of the night because it wasn't one. They did do four performances of the night, right? They did.
That should have been the fight of the night, though.
Yeah, they did Kimball. Yeah, you're right. They did Kimball. They did Kevin Lee. Who else got one? Fuck, there's two more.
Well, we're gonna get into that fucking Kevin Lee. Oh, did they do the Herring, Felice Herring?
No, she didn't get one. She deserves a fucking bonus. Goddamn right, she deserves a bonus.
Yeah, she rolled around in shit, motherfucker. Like, what the fuck?
She made someone shit themselves. How do you not give him 50 G's for that? It was gross, but it's impressive.
Credit to the referee standing in that shit as well. Like
he stepped in it. He stepped in it the entire time. I was like, ooh, ew. Here's the thing. Like, all right, so if we're gonna talk about that fight. yeah. I was like, ooh, dude, it's fucking gross. But the fucking worst part. So I was watching it, and as they're rolling around, 1 second there's nothing on the ground, okay, and then they kind of rolled. There was like a tiny bit of a scramble, and all of a sudden there's shit, like 3 shit spots, and one of them had red in it, and I'm like, oh god, is that shit? And if that is shit, is that blood in the shit? Like,
no, that had to be from somewhere else.
I fucking hope so, because that was bad. And if it's like from her face or something, that means her face rolled in her own shit. Think about that.
No. It could have been vice versa, though. It could have been vice versa.
Regardless, first of all, just in case gets
you're trying to get this girl to have pink eye. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, they better get treated. But I gotta give Just In Case a shitload of credit for that. She fucking rolled with it on Twitter. She was like, "Hey, hashtag shit happens," and I'm like, "Oh, yes, that's exactly what you do." Learn from Just In Case, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, when stuff happens to you that's embarrassing or even bad, if you own it the way Just In Case just did with the whole hashtag shit happens, you fucking win that. You can't be trolled. You can't be bullied. All right, because there's no way, because you don't give a fuck. You laughed about your own. You laughed about yourself shitting yourself in the fucking canvas on national television or international television, whatever, whoever watched it, whatever. But regardless, it was gross as fuck.
It was sick as fuck, and that choke, in fairness, was deep as
Dude.
shit. That was I couldn't believe that shit.
She muscled her way out of that. That was all strength and like fighting. You know what I mean? I was impressed that she could get out of that. But you can see Felice Herrig got super she was frustrated after that, I think.
You would be though, wouldn't you? If you got legit choking, like that choke's in. There's no two ways about it. That choke could not have been put in more perfectly, put on any longer. I'm surprised she just didn't pass out.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I was like, oh, she's going to go out. She's going to go out. And I'm like, oh my God, she's not going to go out. She's going to fucking fight this shit.
Well, the thing is, though, is just it reminded me a lot of the Rose Namajunas one on Michelle Waterson with the nose out of the nose. And I was just like, oh God, this is getting really awkward now. Please stop, please stop, please stop, please stop.
Yeah.
And then she just got out of it. I was just like, but man.
That's all heart, and the throat's gonna be hurting. Real quick, let's talk about we want to come back, but I want to talk before we forget. Dominic Reyes, that nasty knockout.
Yeah, buddy, my boy, Dominic Reyes.
That was my favorite. That might have been my favorite fight of that card.
My favorite thing about that is you and Brad gave me so much shit because he didn't have a picture on fucking UFC.
Yeah, I was fucking around about that. I was like, I ain't got no picture. JC, here's the thing. I'll be completely honest with you. I had seen his last fight, but I didn't know it was him. I thought it was a different guy that got the head kick knockout that got him in the UFC. Yeah. I thought that was a different guy. So I was like, oh, no, fuck, I don't know this dude. If you would have told me it was that guy, I'd have been like, ooh, okay, he's got a good shot. But the way he had the left head kick, I think, and then a hook, and then a straight left, and the straight left dropped Christensen. Nasty. I was like, oh my God, fuck yes.
It was legit as fuck as well.
He's gonna be right now. He's a really nice prospect. A couple more wins like that, especially maybe 2-3 more wins like that, and in a shallow 205 division, he's going to be a prospect soon.
That's going to be one of those guys that hopefully can push into the top 6-7 very, very quickly with the right matchups. Yeah,
because it's been a while since we've seen a prospect get up like that, other than Misha Cirkunov, who just fucking lost.
Exactly. With that said, with a heavy heart, Johnny Hendricks, aka Eddie Law's doppelganger.
No, he's not.
Legit, bro.
Whatever. I get Kelvin Gastelum. I've never gotten Johnny Hendricks.
You legit look like Johnny Hendricks. If you shaved your head a little bit, just to the back bit, and just kept a little tuft at the back. No. I'm just saying shaved a little bit more of the middle and kept the back bit like a horseshoe. If you just kept that, and then try to suck yourself down to 170, you'd be Johnny Hendricks.
Okay, here's why I don't agree as a doppelganger. Because doppelgangers don't take effort. That sounds like it takes effort.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, he walks around the same weight as you.
Yeah, he does. This is weird. We're the same height too. That's the fun part. I think I'm 5'10". I think he's 5'9".
Hey, you don't think you're related, do you?
We're not related at all. I've never been to Oklahoma in my life. I don't give a shit. Regardless, he fought a bigger, stronger
Eddie Hendricks.
Whatever, but regardless, he fought a bigger, stronger version of himself. Tim Boetsch was doing the same exact shit, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What?
I just imagine you fighting Robbie Lawler.
Hey, Johnny Hendricks won that fight. I want to hear that.
And he also lost that fight as well.
Whatever, dude.
No, man. I agree with you. Legit, it was like watching the 185, a legit 185 version of Johnny Hendricks. When he fought at 170. Quick, agile, powerful, quick hands, devastating knockout power. But what was interesting though is what I noticed was when he actually caught him with that head kick. Everybody was going on about the head kick. Dominic Cruz, head kick. It wasn't even the head kick that knocked him out. It was a glancing cross. It was a glancing straight cross. I don't know if it was his elbow or his forearm or it might have just been like literally like one of his knuckles on the edge of his hand that just glanced and crossed the temple. But if you watch that fight back, you see him hit across, and you see Johnny Hendricks' head go like this.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
he had that moment where like you know you don't know where time and space is, and you just kind of drop to your knees and whatever. But it was a sad thing, man.
And then on top of it, he misses weight. I mean, dog, like when I heard he, first of all, I saw the I didn't watch I usually watch the morning the weigh-ins, the early weigh-ins, because I'm at work already, and I could just have it on in the background while I'm doing this shit. I didn't watch him that morning, and I remember I look at my phone, and when somebody had tweeted me or by DM me going, you won't fucking believe this shit. So what happened? Are you ready? I'm like, what? He's like, are you sitting down? I'm like, fucking tell me. He goes, Johnny Hendricks missed weight, and I was just like, what? Yeah, he missed. What did he come in at? He's like 188, and I didn't believe him. So I jump on the computer, I look it up. I'm like, holy fuck! How does your fat ass with 185? How does that fucking happen?
And the thing he's not telling you, ladies and gentlemen, was the second thing he did is fucking tweet me saying, "I told you, motherfucker." That was
I did say that.
Fucking did.
Oh. Yeah, I go, I fucking called it. Because I did call it. Go back and listen to the last episode. I called that shit.
It makes me so sad inside. The thing is, though, is I wonder if just Johnny. Well, you want to know something really funny about Johnny Hendricks? I recently looked on his Twitter to see who he'd most recently followed, because I like to see that with fighters. I like to kind of see who they've been interacting with recently, if they followed anybody on social media, just to kind of like see where their head's at and stuff. And you want to know the irony of the last 5 people that he followed?
Okay, shoot.
Andrea Lee, Miss KJB.
Mm-hmm.
John Dodson. Uriah Faber. I'm going to pronounce it like the wrestler, but Ryan Benoit, or Benoit, if you like to call it that way. But it's Benoit. Fuck you. And last one, Mike Dolce.
It's fucking hilarious.
Mike Dolce, second to last person that he followed.
That's fucking sad. I feel bad now.
I don't know if that's after he missed weight or if that was during when he was leading up to his weigh-in. But regardless, I find it very interesting that he's done that.
It might be because he saw, like, he fucking had seen that that shit was, you know, that he wasn't gonna make weight. Because you know early on, by the way, like as you're trying to cut weight and you're running out of time to cut weight, you know it should, that you're not gonna make it, or you're gonna make it, right? So I think maybe he was like, "Fuck, I'm not gonna make it. I better. Fuck, is Mike Dolce around? Maybe I can get some help." Like he tried to DM him or something.
Man, just imagine though, like, because he only had to make 186, didn't he?
Yeah, 186. 186. He came in at 188.
So I don't understand why he didn't try and lose the extra £2, because like he had to forfeit 20% of his purse. Wouldn't it have been worth just to try and push yourself a little bit?
Absolutely, but at that point, your body might have already given up on you. I mean, your body can only cut so goddamn much. It really can only cut so much.
No, I get that, but Jesus Christ, he used to try and cut down to 170. Like for sure,
that's true.
He can push himself just a little bit to get £2 off.
Yeah. Now, real quick, are the most recent follows at the very top or at the very bottom?
Very top. Like literally, as you click on somebody's followers, it should be from top to work downwards. So top is the most recent, and you work downwards.
Gotcha. Okay, so here's some more of the ones that he just fucking followed. Fit Meals Prep. What else you got? Bison Coolers. Yeah, Fit Meals Prep is a nice one right there. You should have thought about that before you got fucking missed weight, dude. But regardless, he's out of the UFC, right? There's no way they keep him.
I don't know, man. I don't know, because a part of me just thinks that if he wants to keep fighting in the UFC, he has selling points. As far as like, you know, like his highlight reel's immense. Do you know what I mean? Like when you show his highlight reel, regardless of whether it's new or old, he's got highlights, and you could put him against the top. He could be a gatekeeper. I'm not saying that he should be, and I don't want him to, and you know, I'd rather him bow out. But if he wants to keep on fighting, it's not like he's old like BJ Penn. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to keep on going at 185, but if he misses weight the next time, you have to axe him. You have to axe him.
Yeah. You have to ask him. No, but dude, he's out. Come on, man. Why are we talking about this? There's no way to keep him. 4 times he missed weight.
Dude, how many times are we going to watch Vitor Belfort fucking get knocked out and shit and he's still there?
How's Vitor fucking Belfort?
Shut the fuck up. We're talking about, right, and I don't care what anybody says. Fuck y'all in the comments if you've got a problem with this. But the fact is we're talking about Johnny Hendricks, who beat GSP, and that did happen. I watched it. I saw it, and I'm telling you, he beat him. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. If anybody, I do not care. There's certain fights, right, that I've gone back and specifically watched because I don't want my mind to play tricks on me, because it happens. Happens with all of us. There's moments where your favorite fighters are fighting and you watch it and a certain decision doesn't go their way and your bias runs with you. It does. Dominic Cruz against Cody Garbrandt. I thought that, hear me out, I genuinely thought that maybe Dominic could have won 1 round in that entire 5-round fight. I thought he won at least 1, maybe 2. I was edging on 2.
The Cody fight, right?
The Cody fight, yeah. Dominic Cruz against Cody Garbrandt. When I fucking turn around and watched it back, there is no way in hell Cruz got 1 round in that entire fight. And
that was a 5-0 drubbing right there. That was an ass whooping.
100%. It could have been, 10-8s in some of those rounds. And the point being is Johnny Hendricks beat GSP. And, that's somebody. And that fucking left hand that he was catching people with, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
No, it was ridiculous, but
I don't think you cut him. I think if he misses weight again, you cut him. I don't think I think he should have another fight because it's just like that middleweight division. When you look at it, it's only stacked at the top,
right?
So it's kind of like the middleweight division. It's kind of like the lightweight division. You look at that top, say 7, and you go, yeah, there's fucking loads of good fighters in that top 7. Outside of that, you kind of go.
No, I think at that point, it depends on what his contract is like. You're not going to pay this guy a lot of money to miss weight again. You know what I mean?
You don't have to give 20% to his opponent.
Well, right. But I mean, you just talked about it's stacked at the top, right? You're not gonna pay him to fight some middleweight, or some lower level middleweight.
No, you have him fight the young guys who come into the UFC.
Right, but that's depending on his contract, you're not gonna pay him a lot of money to do that, right?
I guess in the UFC, how many fights left on his contract as well?
Then that's the other question: how many contracts and how much he gets paid for each fight? That's what I'm wondering. I think that they're gonna as far as weigh that out. But missing weight, if it's gonna take 5 missed weights like to fucking get cut, I mean, goddamn.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're at Lineker and who's the other guy who's got 4 weight misses? Who's the other one? Is it Oliveira?
Yeah, Oliveira misses weight constantly.
Yeah, so I think him, Hendricks, and John and Luke are on 4 each, if I remember correctly. The point being is, anyways, is let's be truthful. If Hendricks did get released from the UFC, he's going to Bellator.
Yeah, if he still fights, he's going to Bellator. And they're going to put him at 205 or something.
Yeah, but we wouldn't even need to fight 205. Fight at 185 and he'd get paid a shitload of money.
Oh, fuck it. You know what they do? We should fight fight him at heavyweight. Real circus fights, motherfucker. But Johnny Hendricks is Fedor at heavyweight. What's up?
Okay, let's do BJ Penn versus fucking Fedor. Let's finally see it.
I think BJ went. I'm just kidding. I know.
Bro, you legit spooked me. Then I looked at you like, what?
I'm joking.
But yeah, it was a sad thing to see fucking Johnny, like, because it feels like a fall from grace. And when you see certain fighters and stuff like that, and you see them get to the point where they're at and stuff, and you saw them fight against some of the elite, it's fucking sad, bro. Like, really, really sad. But with that same thing said, we need to discuss the most important moment of UFC Oklahoma. And the key question I've got to ask you is, Eddie, was the decision of the referee, Mr. But Did You Die? Mr. I'll fuck your career up. Mr. I'm going to make more mistakes than anybody in the history of the world in officials. Is it time we sack him off? Yamasaki, do we sack his ass?
Dude, here's the thing. Mazzagatti is still a ref, but doesn't get used very much by any of the big commissions. You know what I mean? I think as far as I've seen him, he's only used in like small shows. I think he's very little used, right? By the way, where the fuck is Josh Rosenthal? Isn't he out of prison yet? That was a good fucking ref. Josh Rosenthal was a good fucking ref. But anyway,
Jesus Christ, he should go to jail. Should fucking Mazzagatti for that.
Yeah. Can we fucking just Mazzagatti Yamasaki's ass? Like, if you go to his Twitter page, and I think it's Twitter, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure there's like a bunch of fucking parodies. I know there's one, and it's like, MMA referee, and then it says public speaker, and I'm like, well, there goes both of those careers right down the drain, because that's just not going to happen.
It's insane. I don't understand how even Dana White doesn't like him.
He was like, enough of this shit right here. Fucking ref the fight. I'm like, okay. I mean, it's the thing. Okay, so looking at the sequence, right? Kevin Lee has a deep rear naked choke. I mean,
let's rewind this. Let's rewind.
Okay.
Can we reference that also he hit him with a 6-12 elbow? Can we reference that?
Like 3 or 4 times, and then shot to the back of the head too?
Can we just reference that?
No, that was bad.
Yeah, because the key thing is neglecting what we'll get into. The first and foremost is the illegal strikes, multiple, that he didn't.
Yeah.
Go on, as you were saying.
No, you're right. So there was the 12-6 elbows, and it was funny because it was blatant. Kevin Lee even snarled a little bit when he did. He's like, "Ah, motherfucker!" Like it was pretty bad. And then I could have sworn that Chiesa got hit in the back of the head a few times, and I'm sitting there going like, "The fuck? Okay, well I guess he's just gotta let him fight. Just let him fight, I guess." Then he gets a deep rear naked on, and it's fucking deep. It's so bad. You know when you see somebody in the rear naked and their arms are in front of them like this, and they're barely defending. They're either about to go out or they're about to tap. Here's the problem.
Sorry.
No, here's the problem. He didn't go out and he didn't tap. You can't call the fight. Your job isn't to fucking assume what he's gonna do or guess or go, oh, he's about to go out anyway, whatever. You don't know that. You gotta either let him go out or let him tap. Leave it up to the fighter. Don't fucking decide to fight yourself.
2 things in reference to that. One, how beautiful was the transition from having one arm to using his head to sneaking his arm around after removing his chin from the side of Chiesa's head.
I love that.
That was so beautiful. And then the transition from the arm over to changing it to a gable grip.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. But did you watch the video that I sent you of what Mike Chiesa said afterwards?
He said that real quick. Is it the one? I didn't watch it. I was right before we went to start the show, and I was like setting up. But is it the one where he said that Yamasaki should never ref again?
It was. He turned and said he has a high fight IQ, and this, that, and the other. He studied tape on Kevin where he switches from the behind to the hand grip, and he said what he was doing was he was hunching his shoulders together, to alleviate pressure so that he could turn and pivot as he got onto his side. Now, that is not something, I'll be completely honest, you're talking to somebody who's not even a white belt, but like, it's not something that I've ever been taught in jiu-jitsu. So is that something that is, or is it, because I've never seen anybody pinch the shoulders together to use to pivot. I've never.
Yeah, no, I've never done that. And when I train, and when the teacher is defending the rear naked, it's always fight the hands, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Fight the hands and especially the supporting arm. So especially in nogi, right? You have it, the supporting arm. This is supporting arm. When you have it right here, and you go to the back of the hand, you hug. This is supporting arm. You fight this because it's very difficult. I mean, very difficult to finish a one arm rear naked. Very difficult to do that. Mind you, you can do this shit. You can kind of do this if you want some crazy shit. You can try it, but it's very, very rare to get a one arm rear naked choke. So you fight the supporting arm. What I'm assuming here by hunching his shoulders is getting that pressure off his neck and up into his chin a little bit more. Yeah. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. And then buying himself time to spin out of it. So I could see where it could be possible. I'm actually going to go ask my professor now that you mentioned that. Now I'm going to ask him.
Watch that video because the video, he says it in a bit of a description than that I'm kind of saying. But the basic premise is that, though.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him about that. I'm going to, because I wonder what's the thing. I mean, that might be some like high level shit that we just haven't been taught yet. But I gonna ask people now. I want to know for sure, like if one of it if that does anything, or I might just try it myself. Like, hey, get in the shit.
Don't do that shit because if you end up out, it's not gonna be a good night, brother.
Yeah, I might shit myself. I better take a dump before I go roll because it's just like
that. Or wear a nappy.
Yeah, right. I'd be like, okay, let me just squeeze it real good, and if I tap, I tap. But let me just try this shit. Fuck it. Like,
if I die, I die.
Oh shit. But yeah, I wonder if that's like a real thing though. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna find out.
But yeah, the point being is though is I feel sorry for him because you know, even if he was willing to go out on his shield and pass out, which is gangster as fuck, like let's be truthful.
Yep.
Because he had the opportunity to tap. Because people always say that one of the things that always bugs me out is that people give Holly Holm like such credit when she didn't tap against Misha. I don't think that she knew where the fuck she was. I don't think that she turned around and I thought she was genuinely trying to reach for something that she thought was there and it wasn't there. It wasn't a case of she was not trying to tap. I think she genuinely didn't have a fucking clue where she was, and that's the reason why Holly Holmes didn't tap. But it looked like with Mike Chiesa, it looked like he was genuinely, in my opinion, from when I was watching it, it looked like he was kind of going, I'm just going to pass out. You ain't going to get the tap off me. It reminded me a bit of the Henzo Gracie Sakuraba. Like, you ain't going to get
arm. Yeah, you got to take my arm, bitch. Yeah. Now, first of all, on the Misha Tate being a backpack, Holly Holm fucked up from the get-go. As soon as he was on there and it was under her neck, instead of fighting the hands, she tried to shake her off. No, in fact, she made that choke even deeper by trying to shake her off that way.
Well, she jumped, she flipped, didn't she, as well, to try and like, land on her. And it was like, oh, so you like getting choked, do you, Holly? Like, you like
Yeah. You were better off on your feet, dummy, and fighting the hands, and you were trying to slam her down and making that choke deeper at the exact same time.
Exactly.
But that was bad.
The first thing you're gonna do if you're Misha when you land on your back is to hold on tighter. So therefore you're gonna sink in the choke deeper. So that was.
And not to mention, I don't know, it's an old ass thing we shouldn't be talking about anymore. But if you slam, your body's gonna shake too, and that thing's gonna just get deeper in. You know what I mean? So that she made it worse. But yeah, look, I thought Chiesa, I was like, dude, this is a high level grappler. He's a proud motherfucker. He's gonna go out. He ain't tapping shit. And I thought he was gonna tap. For a second, he goes like this, and when he moved his hand away, I was like, oh, he's going out like a boss. And then he waves it off, and I'm like, oh shit. So when Yamasaki waved it off, I was like, oh shit, he went out. But when somebody goes out, and we've seen it a bunch of times, Holly Holm included, the body just slumps over. Chiesa got to his knees and was like, what the fuck? And immediately, I'm like, holy shit, he wasn't out. Yeah. Holy shit, he wasn't out. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh fuck. Honestly, it's just a bad circumstance. It's more, to me, it's more of just a shit happens type of thing than it was Yamasaki, fucked up again. Because Yamasaki, we know when I think, okay, maybe me, when I think Mario Yamasaki, I think late stoppages.
Yeah.
And now we get a super, like an early one. You know what I mean? So it was more like, I think it was more like a just shit circumstance than it really was Yamasaki fucking up.
Do you think, though, that there was ways that he could have, we've seen it before where referees have gone in and they've lifted their arm to see if they respond to their arm being touched, or even speaking to them, to try and get them to do something to show that they're still in it, still awake or whatnot, and then to stop it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because from my recollection of the ending of that fight, he just kind of looks down, sees the hands kind of wavering, and then he just rips him off straight away. What
do you mean? Like on what?
So like when the actual ending of the fight happened,
okay,
he was in the choke with Mike, and as he's getting choked, his hands kind of moved. So like you said, it looked like he was going to tap. And then he doesn't, he just keeps his arms there. Now, usually referees will say, do something or move, defend, or they'll say something to encourage the fighter to kind of say, look, I'm going to stop this if you don't. He didn't. He didn't try and check the hands to see if the hand was, like the arm was limp. He didn't do anything. He just literally said to stop to Kevin Lee, and that was it.
You think it's possible that when Chiesa's hand went like this, that Yamasaki had looked away for a second and he thought he saw a tap?
Maybe he thought that. He was doing the Holly Holmes thing and he was doing the.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, because he's had him. He's like, and to me, and I have to go back and watch it again to make sure. But I thought Chiesa's hand went like kind of like this, right? Like a little bit wavy. And I'm thinking, if I'm the ref, this action is happening right here in front of me, and I'm looking at something else, or I'm looking at the cage, or I'm looking at something just for a split second, and on the side of my eye, I see something like this. It looks like a tap. Maybe he thought it was a tap.
Well, if that's the case, he still should get sacked then because he's not watching the fucking fight.
Yeah, exactly. It's even that might even be worse. That might even be worse.
Dude, definitely trying to get him a P45.
Yeah. I would want. You know what I want? A change to be made is that we're allowed to, or at least the media is allowed to, interview the refs if there's a controversial fight. I think, honestly, I think not letting them talk about what happened and why they did what they did is a disservice to the ref. Because right now everyone's shitting on Yamasaki without knowing what Yamasaki was thinking. You know what I mean? I think they should be like, look, it's up to you, but you have a choice. You can go in front of the media and answer questions or not.
I'll be completely truthful. I don't know if this is the case or not, but they don't do in football, in soccer, whatever you guys over that side of the pond want to call it. After a football game, if there's been an incident, whether it's a booking of a yellow card or a red card, whatever, or there's just been an incident in general, they have to give a post-match report, and they have to write why they did certain things.
Yeah.
They have to write why they gave certain, penalties or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't do that in MMA. And I wonder if it'd be worth doing just so that it was written in context so that we can understand. So then instead of us, butchering them, we can turn around and say, well, the protocol is this. And the reason why he gave this is because a certain section in this protocol states that if this happens, then you should stop it, or this should happen, blah, 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 blah. Because then we can hold them accountable, because we can go, if you don't do the protocol, then you should get fucked. You should get, reprimanded. You should get judged on your officiating. But with that same thing said, if he turned around and said, look, in the guidelines for the handbooks, it says if a guy's hands are wavering and his eyes look glazed over or his pupils look dilated, whatever, then we must stop the fight. If that's what it says in the rule book for judge choke, and he writes that in his report, fuck everybody else. Doesn't matter what Mike says. It doesn't matter what media say. It doesn't matter what anybody says. If that's in the rule book for the fighter's safety, I'm down for it. But you can't walk away. You can't just walk away.
All we have right now is Big John McCarthy answering questions on Twitter. Like exactly. you constantly see people asking, "What'd you think of this?" and "What'd you think of that?" And he'll explain it exactly how he knows it is, right? Because he knows the rules by heart. He's been doing it forever. But I agree with you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I agree with you. I think there should be a written, if not a written report, at least like an interview, like in front of that.
An interview is harder because you could say something out of context, or you could say the wrong word, and then by that you get fucked. We've seen it so many times where we see clickbait. Our dear friends in the MMA journalistic world,
a lot of them,
those key words, and it takes it completely out of context. So with that same thing said, I think an interview is dangerous because it gives room for error in the human mind to see something out of context.
It also leaves room for interpretation.
Exactly. Whereas written is there. There's no.
100% agree with you. Yeah, I think written's the way to go. If they do something like that, which I hope they do. I mean, at some point they got to do that. But I think written's the way to go. You're right. And give him some time to do it, not just like, okay, right at the end of the fight. Like at the end of the fight, you got to write your initial, and then watch the fight, and then finish off and put details of your thought in there. But yeah, I think written's the way to go.
Like I say, if we want this sport to get bigger, badder, and better, we have to make sure that it looks like a sport. And taking other ways of making sports great is the perfect way for us to make our sport great.
Exactly. Especially like I said, especially if we're trying to make a sport. Even if WME IMG's trying to make it more entertainment again, which is fucking whatever.
I think in the next 6 months, I think people will be. I think after this, and we're not going into this. After this Mayweather McGregor fight, after that fight, I think you will see a little bit more of normality set in, because you've got to look at all the other divisions that are getting kind of held up by other fighters and other circumstances in different divisions. I think that you're going to start to see a lot of clarity in the divisions in the UFC, and I think you're going to start seeing that they've gone, right, we've got all the big fights out of the way per se. We've given the fans what they want, and now we can go forward. And I think that's what you'll see. That's my prediction.
I agree 100%. Yeah. I hope that's what happens. I really do. I want some normalcy back instead of fucking talking about how bullshit it is that someone gets a fucking title shot left and right and all that. So,
that note, let's wrap this thing up and give a shout out to the sponsors.
Real quick, one more thing. Okay. Okay, so I didn't know about this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't know about this motherfucker before he showed up to Cody Garbrandt's gym.
Oh God,
have you heard of this motherfucker? This Colin Cater fuckhead, the Shallow King.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know the backstory, so I can't even speak to it. I have no clue. I don't give a fuck. He actually had the balls to show up in Sacramento. He went into the Alpha Male. It's called Ultimate Fitness, something like that.
Yeah.
In Sacramento, looking for Cody Garbrandt, and he went in there and he live fucking Instagrammed it or some shit like that. And he goes in there, and my favorite part, he goes in there, he goes, "Hey, is Cody here?" Like, he was super nice. Instead of, beforehand, he was like, "Fuck Cody, I'm gonna fuck Cody up." But he goes in there, "Hey, is Cody here? Is he coming?" I was like, "Yeah, he's coming back. And then they start offering him like water bottles and towels. Like, you want a water bottle? You want a towel and all this other shit? And he's just like, "Oh, no, thanks. Actually, a water bottle would be really cool. Really appreciate that, bro. You have no idea." Like, he was super nice, right? And then somebody recognizes him, and they go, "Get the fuck out, bro. I'm about to call my dude." And he's about to call Cody. Like, they laughed him out of the gym. He got laughed out of the gym. It was fucking hilarious. And now he's on like Twitter and Facebook talking shit about Cody Garbrandt. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
The only thing that I've heard, this is the basic premise. Apparently, he tried doing this with Mark Hunt as well. Secret Moves, Justin, he turned around and said that apparently he tried to do this with Mark Hunt before as well. I know, right?
Did you want to die, Matt? Is that what you want, Cater? Shallow King?
Die.
Do you want to die? Because that's how you die. That's exactly how you do it.
Apparently, what the premise of it all is he was calling like Cody a bitch and this, that, and the other. With that same thing said, this Shallow King apparently weighs, I think it's either 170 or 185. Like, okay. Excuse me, sir. Like, you're trying to fight a guy half your size. This is Cyborg versus fucking Mangana all over again. But the point being is though is this time instead, like, Mangala got hands. Like, this is not the same kind of thing. This is like the flip reversal. This is like the big guy who's like the dumbass. But the point still being is apparently there was some interchange and stuff like that. He flew over. He charged people apparently $9.99 for a stream service, and then he was claiming that the stream service didn't work with the provider that he tried to use. And then apparently he took a picture of being outside of the gym, and then apparently, like you say, they called Cody to tell him to come down because he'd waited 3 hours for Cody to leave because Cody had been then earlier at wrestling practice. Mm-hmm. So he waited for Cody to leave, then he went to the gym because he watched his social media and where he'd been and this, that, and the other. Went there, said, "Oh, where the fuck's Cody at? Where's Cody at?" And then when people actually like recognized who the guy was, they apparently like said, "Well, what's up, man? Like, what the fuck's up?" And he apparently got in his car and sped off and nearly ran over some folk.
Get the fuck out.
Apparently. Oh, God. This is all kind of, this is that thing of like hearsay, she say, all that kind of bullshit.
What an asshole.
But this guy apparently who was kicking off. Cody turned around and said, "Right, I'm at the gym now, come through." And he's like, "No, you'll get all your bros to beat me up. Like, fucking, you won't fight me by yourself, you pussy." And it's like, well, why did you even say that you were going to come to his gym? You knew all of his friends were going to be there. Or better yet, why didn't you come with your own crew?
Right. Bunch of musclehead, roidhead motherfuckers.
Because like, let's put it like this: if SBG turned around and said to the Scrap Part, "Come through."
Everyone's showing up. Oh, please believe everybody's showing up. Jake, fucking Gilbert, Nick, Nate, fucking Chris, everyone's showing up. No, for sure. Exactly. No.
And it's going to be the same on both sides.
Somebody please send this motherfucker the Dominic Cruz video of Dominic fucking somebody up who was talking shit. You ever seen that video? Yeah. Dominic Cruz. Somebody went into I think it was, I don't know if it was Alliance or in Tucson. I'm not sure. I forget. It's a kind of an old video, but they go in there and they challenge somebody and they put him in the Dominic Cruz, and Dominic fucks this dude up. Someone send this guy that video and go, "That's what's happening."
Even worse, what you want? Even worse because Cody has like KO power. Like, he has like
Cody.
Ridiculous
power. Cody will take one. Cody would even probably just have to land one hit. That's it. Like probably. Now, dude, I'm so sick of these people. It's a fucking parasite in society now, where now you can go anywhere with a camera, talk some whack bullshit, and all of a sudden you're fucking, famous. That stupid Cash Me Outside bitch, fucking outside, fucking making millions of dollars, has a fucking reality TV show. That's what this jackass wants to do. Here's the thing: he failed miserably because he's just getting mocked badly.
I saw, because I went onto his Twitter, that apparently he said it was one of the biggest online ordered pay-per-views in history, and 2.8 million people bought at $9.99, apparently, and he's going to refund them all.
Dude, no, you're not. That never happened. You didn't get that many. Bro, come on, man.
Bellator can't even get 2.8 million, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
UFC can't even get fucking 2.8 million, motherfucker. Like what?
Bruh. A fucking 4-week white belt could end this guy's night.
I'm just thinking to myself, like, you could put Brock Lesnar, you could put GSP, you could put Conor, and you could put Ronda all on the same pay-per-view, and it'd struggle to get 2 million.
Yeah.
Look,
this guy's so full of shit. The roids got to his brain. That being said, we're talking about him. People are talking. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, the thing is, though, is just that I'll forget his name. I don't even know what his actual name is. I just remember seeing Shallow King, and that's the only thing I was.
Oh, mind you, Dana White follows this fuckhead on Twitter. I just saw that.
Well.
Is this guy represented by WME IMG? Is that what's going on, motherfucker?
Could you imagine if it was all a big work and it was all a big fucking ploy just to make us believe? The other question I've got to ask you, just real quickly, just the last thing, because I've just noticed it now on my Twitter, it just popped up. Big Three, what's the crack?
Basketball.
Yeah, I know it's basketball, but I'm saying, like, what's the deal? Because I saw like some pictures of it, and I've seen the rules because I saw Ice Cube talking about it. But I don't get what the fuck it's.
It's 3-on-3. It's a 3-on-3 basketball league with mostly former NBA players, right? Guys that aren't in the league anymore. Okay. Allen Iverson's the captain of one team. He's playing. He actually played pretty shitty. He actually played really shitty. I think he went like 1 for 6. It was pretty bad. Jason Williams, I don't know if you know Jason Williams, is the former point guard. He played for the Kings and the Grizzlies, and he actually won a title with Miami before LeBron got there. He was there the first title when Dwayne Wade and Shaq were there. Yeah. If you go back and look up the 2006 Miami Heat, he's on that team. They call him White Chocolate. He actually had some of the best handles and best passing. Dude, he just look up Jason Williams, point guard or whatever, Jason Williams Miami Heat, and you can see some of his highlight reel is fun as fuck.
I'm judging you when you call yourself White Chocolate, though, bro.
Yeah, he's kind of a thug white dude. What are you gonna do? But or thug wanna be a thug white dude. But anyway, even the way he talks, if you listen to him, you're like, oh god, all right. But anyway, he's playing on there, but he fucked up his leg playing in the first game. He fucked his leg up. So it's basically a bunch of former NBA players and college players that haven't played in a long time. Most of them haven't played in a long time. Playing 3-on-3 basketball. It's basically just giving people a chance to see, can these guys still play? Mind you, Allen Iverson's 42 years old. That's the kind of talent you're gonna get. So it's nice for like a little bit of like a one runoff type of thing, like a one time only type of thing. It's kind of cool for that, but it hasn't aired yet. It airs tonight in the States. So they played yesterday. It airs tonight. So I'm actually gonna watch it tonight after I get out of the gym to because I want to see exactly how it works out.
I'm kind of what's 8 p.m. ET? So what's that? What's
Eastern time? For me, it's gonna be 5 o'clock.
So 5 o'clock for you is what time is that for me?
8 hours later for you.
So that's 7. So that's 1 o'clock in the morning for me.
I would just YouTube it tomorrow, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be staying awake anyway, so I was kind of intrigued to see what it looks like. But the thing is, though, is I don't think it's actually getting aired in the UK, because the only thing that I saw around the world is it's getting played in pretty much everywhere else. But as the only thing we don't have Fox Sports Europe, and that's the nearest thing, so I might have to stream it.
Then try that. Try to stream or go on YouTube and type in Big 3 Live, because what a lot of people have been doing, you know, when I watch the NBA Finals, I don't have cable anymore. I watch the NBA Finals on YouTube. People would stream it on Twitch and on fucking YouTube, and I watch it on there. And like one stream will go down and another one will pop up.
It'd be pretty cool if this Big 3, if they did it in the kind of sense where like every team had like two like black tops, like two fucking like two skillers and like two young guys and stuff like that. They're never gonna make the NBA. They're just tricksters. Do you know what I mean? And then you have like one pro, and you have like a team where you have like a draft of one pro, and you have like two amateurs, and then you have like 3v3, and it'd be just cool because then you'd have like one guy, and you pretty much have everybody. Every pro would have to pretty much be a point guard because they'd get fucking ran through by the tricksters with the speed and the skills and stuff like that. Because you don't want to see like Iverson get a ball thrown through between his legs and shit like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Look, I like the concept of this, the big three. So we'll see what happens with that. But I don't think we'll ever see it again. I think it's gonna be a one-time thing. But I don't know, man. Look, interesting. I'll let you know tomorrow or tonight after I watch it. Well, what I thought of it. But I think it sounds really interesting to me.
I like the thought of the 4 points as well. The 4 points.
Yes. Yeah. The rule set's weird, but it's nice.
Yeah, as well, because they do the thing of if you get fouled in the 4 point area, the 3 point area, or 2 point area, you take the shot from where the position is for each respective point, and instead of having like multiple free throws, you have one shot and you make all the points if you make it. So there's a little bit more pressure. I think that's kind of cool. But.
Yeah, but again, it's like playing on blacktop. You know what I mean? Just on this at the park with your friends, 3-on-3 basketball is what I grew up playing. So yeah.
Well, I saw you playing on NBA earlier, so I know you.
Hey.
Strong, so
my game. I'm getting my groove back finally, so it's gonna be fun.
What we need to do is like, because we'll cut this in a second, guys, don't worry. But what we need to do is we need to come up with 2 teams that is not Golden State and not the Cavs.
Okay.
And we need to come up with 2 teams, and you have one team, I have one team, and that's going to be the teams that we play for the NBA section of our duel on Twitch. So then we can kind of
definitely, I already have it. I have my team selection down to 3 teams, and it's not Golden State Cap, so I'm already working on that.
I genuinely have not even bothered whatsoever because I've been playing Pro AM, and I've been trying to do my park even. But my park's a sack of shit, so I've just been playing Pro AM, to be honest.
My park's a bunch of Kobe wannabe motherfuckers online. That's what it is. It's just nobody passes the ball. It's annoying.
Oh, 100%. Like, that's where I kind of gave up because the simple fact that I can shoot threes like a beast with my career guy, my player, I can kill folk from 3. But the fact is, if you don't get the ball, you don't get a shot. So
exactly, yeah.
But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure of always. Just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, starting with Huel. Huel do neutrally complete shakes and bars. You don't need to mess around. You just make them quick, whether it be with water if you're a vegan, almond milk, coconut milk, any of that good stuff if you're vegan, because they are vegan friendly. If not, you can use milk. Feel free, bro. Don't be scared. But I will say this, the almond milk with that, oh my God, it's beautiful. You can get it in various amounts of flavors. You can have it in the standard vanilla, which it comes in. You can get it in chocolate. You can get it in rhubarb and custard, toffee, strawberry. There's an array of different flavors, banana, So whatever floats your boat and sinks your ship, you can do that with the shakes. The shaker as well is legit as fuck. It keeps out any bits, any clumps from whenever you use shakes and whatnot, whether it be Huel or any others. I really do recommend checking out those them shakers. Additional to that, they do bars as well. These bars are neutrally complete as well. They fill you up. Genuinely, I don't do breakfast because I don't like to feel too full. I don't know about you, but like when it comes to the breakfast thing, I like to have something really, really small just to put me on for a few hours. And these bars are beautiful for that until they last me about 3 or 4 hours before I need to have something legit to eat. So these aren't meal replacement, guys. These are just kind of things to put you on if you don't have the time or you don't like to feel too full in the morning, but they are neutrally complete and all vegan friendly. And you can check Huel, that's Huel, and you can see them at Get Huel on Instagram, on Twitter, and also on Facebook. And it's huel.com for their website. Check them out, and you can get all your bits and pieces on there as far as your neutrally complete shakes and bars, as well as shakers, balls, and all that good stuff. Secondly, check out Receptra. Receptra, one of the great products that we work with, and one of the great companies that we work with. They work with people in MMA, in other sports like the NFL. They sponsor people like Baz Rutten. So, if Baz is on point, then you're going to check it out. But they also work with an array of other talents, up-and-coming fighters and coaches and established names. But they basically do CBD oils and hemp products. They do like Tropicas as well. So the creams, if you don't want to try the drops are just literally with a pipette. You put one tiny drop into your mouth and you're good to go. You can put it in a drink if you want it to. But they have so many health benefits. Everything but there's been studies from that it can help with cancer, it can help with inflammation, it can help with anxiety, it can help with arthritis, it can help with your sleep, it can help with your actual bowel movements and whatnot. I know it's gross as fuck. We're not trying to get you choked out like Aaron. But the point,
someone hit up just in case she needs some help.
yeah, bro, I think she needs to not take Receptra if that's the
yeah.
She needs the opposite. She needs to get clogged up. She needs a butt plug or something. But the point still being is make sure that you check out Receptra, guys, for these CBD oils. 10% off if you use the code word the Heal Hook. Now, if you're in the States, you want to go on to receptranaturals.com. That's RECEPTRA naturals.com and use the code word the Heal Hook for 10% off. Now, if you are from the UK or in Europe, you use Receptra Global. That's RECEPTRA global.com. And you'll get 10% off and use the code word the Heal Hook. Last but not least, our dear friend Bane. Now, Bane have just dropped a midnight release of their black tops for their new gear. And God damn it. They do beautiful artwork. Honestly, like, I'm a sucker for a black tee. Like I know I'm wearing grey right now, but like legit, I'd say like 99% of the clothes that I wear, like my tops at least, all black. And these have got beautiful artwork on, jiu-jitsu inspired. They do all kinds of other cool bits as well, whether it be rash guards if you train. They do spats as well if you want to just use them for running. They've got hoodies also. They do an array of things. Mugs. The last mug that they did, I believe it says white belt tears on it. Come on, dog. Like,
that's awesome.
That's fucking legit as it comes. But you can check them out at banestore.com. That's BAIN store.com. When you do, throw the Heal Hook in the code and you get 10% off. You just put 10% off there. When you put in the Heal Hook code, you will get 10% off your entire purchase at banestore.com. Lastly, guys, this episode will be airing as soon as obviously it processes and all that kind of good stuff afterwards. Additional to that, though, tomorrow I will be on Twitch, and that's twitch.tv/the Heal Hook. I'll be going on there. I'll be pissing around on NBA 2K17. I'll be pissing around on UFC 2. I've been pissing around on FIFA 17. I might be going on Marvel Omega Heroes just to kind of mess around on that. And I might even go on Second 7 as well. So make sure you check out twitch.tv/the Heal Hook. And make sure you subscribe, guys, because we'll be going there a lot more regular. Them videos will be posted onto this channel as well. And last but not least, on Wednesday, I'll be looking into doing a tutorial video, potentially. If not, that'll be dropping Sunday. We'll be back on Thursday because I think we're going to have a look into talking about some of the cards coming up. So there's a little bit of a break with the cards. So we might just talk a little bit of shit about the cards leading up and give a little kind of predictions and whatnot. Hopefully no fucking shit changes though. Friday I'll be twitching again, and then on Sunday I'll probably drop another tutorial if I get time to, if not on Wednesday. But check us out on social media. We're on Twitter, which is the Heal Hook Show. Myself is Ashley Lamprey. We're also on Instagram with the Heal Hook Show. And make sure that you check all of us out. Where can they find you, Eddie?
Find me on Twitter at Elo31. Of course, the Instagram is at Crossbones. I can't talk anymore. I'm like, who did that this weekend? Brendan Shaw, I think, might have done that. Or Josh Thompson did that. I don't know. Anyway, crossbonesmma.com gets you right to the YouTube page. All the shows are on there. And, of course, at the MMA Advocates. And, of course, try to represent. Always representing on this shit for real all the time.
Last but not least, guys, make sure that you drop a like on this. Make sure you subscribe to the page also. We're trying to bump up to that 100 so we can get a custom URL, so then we don't have to mess around with some bullshitty weird URL that looks like we're trying to encrypt and the matrix. We just want a nice simple one that we can show you guys. So make sure you drop those likes. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you can always stay on point. Last but not least, we love you guys. Always a pleasure, never a chore. From me and Eddie, peace up. A-Town down. We love you guys.